WNYC is supported by Picador, publishers of The Sellout by Paul Beatty. Nominated as one of 5 books for the One Book, One New York program. Learn more about the book, the program, and how to vote for your pick at www.voteforthesellout.com.
Wild, dangerous, and completely unbelievable are just a few of the ways based on a true story. A new memoir from actor, gambler, raconteur, and Saturday Night Live veteran Norm Macdonald has been described. Mr. Macdonald's dry sense of humor established him as one of the most beloved and controversial anchors of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update, and as his book's title suggests, based on a true story, is much more than a memoir. It's a Hunter S. Thompson-inspired epic of the comedian's life, including classic jokes and long mythologized Hollywood stories, with guest appearances from Chris Farley, Rodney Dangerfield, Sarah Silverman, Adam Sandler, and many others. I'm very pleased it has brought Norm Macdonald to our show today. Hello.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
I'm well. You talk about how the process of writing was not something that you really liked. You found it grueling. So what led you to even try to write a memoir?
Well, what happened was I was in a hotel room in Edmonton, Alberta, and my manager told me to look at my Wikipedia, and I looked at my Wikipedia, and somebody had changed my Wikipedia, and I was dead in my Wikipedia. And I had overdosed on morphine, which is some 19th century kind of drug to take, in the very hotel room that I was reading this. And so I chuckled as you did at first, but then I didn't. Then I got frightened because I knew that one day that would be true, you know. And
what, that you die of morphine, or
no, just that the tenses change.
Mm-hmm.
Is becomes was, and does becomes did. And so I thought, well, one day in the future, when Norm Macdonald was, that will be what's left. There's a page on Wikipedia. So I said, I want to tell my own side of the story, and not just a series of facts, which I suppose is what a person's life is a series of facts.
Well, based on a true story, when we see that at the beginning of a movie, we know a lot of license has been taken.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, though, if you base something on... it's not really based on a true story. It's based on facts, but it is true. That's that's how I would say it.
How would you describe your writing style here? Are you using the truth as a stepping up point for some rather elaborate storytelling? And how does this kind of writing differ, or is it the same as what you do when you're doing a stand-up?
No, it's much different. I'm not an educated person, so I wish I was, because I would have been able to write the book. But I wrote 4 books. 4 attempts at this book. Not 4 drafts, but 4 entirely different books, until I came upon this one that I think works.
Well, you told the Washington Post.
Maybe doesn't. I don't know.
I can't imagine how anyone likes to write a blanking book. I couldn't hate it more.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated every moment of it.
Through much
I liked writing the end. Those 2 words.
Through much of the book, you drink and do a lot of drugs and gamble. And
yes.
Are those things that you do on a
don't
day-to-day
do them now.
life?
No, sir. I don't do any of them, but I did do them. Yes, I did do them a great deal. I didn't enter show business until late in life. And before that, I was sort of a criminal. I had criminal. Yeah, I was a criminal, I suppose.
You engage in illegal activities?
Yes, sir. I did.
Wow. Like what?
I would sell drugs. I would break and enter. Anything to...
Statute of limitations.
Anything to survive. You know, I was just trying to survive. I had no money, and I was only 14 or 15 when I left home. So
this is in Canada.
This is in Canada. So you do what you have to do, and it's not immoral. You know, there's nothing immoral about it. But you know, we would I remember we would steal electric typewriters. This is how long ago it was. And we would smash the window, and the alarm would go off, and we'd grab electric typewriters. And we used a cab. The cab driver would be involved, and then we would drive to an Indian reservation where the police were not allowed to enter, and that's where we would put all the goods that we had stolen.
Would they go to a fence?
Yes, exactly.
Now, you also mentioned gambling. What does it feel like to lose your net worth, something you say that you've done twice in your life?
Yes, it feels very good.
It feels good to
Yeah.
to lose everything?
Yeah, you go to the coffee shop and you have a coffee and you feel fresh and you feel like, hey, I'm going to start over. I can do it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Is I've always wondered about the appeal of gambling. Because the little bit of gambling I've done, okay, sometimes I made a couple of bucks, sometimes I didn't, but it doesn't really, I don't understand the addictive quality.
I guess what you're addicted to is hope, which is not such a bad thing according to our president. So when the dice are in the air, anything can happen, and then it hits the cruel green felt, and sometimes you bust.
You, along with so many comedians of your generation, Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, Martin Short, Catherine O'Hara, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Seth Rogen, Phil Hartman, Eugene Levy, Samantha Bee, are all from Canada. Mm-hmm. Is there something about Canada that produces all those funny people?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably, we have 10% population of North America without Mexico, whatever that's called. So we have 10% population of what the United States has. So I would say it's probably, you mentioned 10 guys, I could probably mention 100 Americans.
Really? Well, but those are some of our favorites. And
they're my favorites. Yeah,
your
Martin
father
Short
was a bit of a raconteur.
Incredible.
Did you think you got some of your comedic influences from him?
Yeah. Well, we lived a rather bleak existence when I was young. We lived on a farm that was sort of obsolete and was just barren, rocky soil. So. And there was all those old men around, and but they were always happy and funny, even though their existence seemed bleak. That's why I was so attracted to Russian literature, because I saw all the people I knew in those books,
Like, we're talking about Shmedyadkov or Raskolnikov?
Like just Gogol and
the absurd guys.
The absurd, yes.
My guest is Norm Macdonald, who's written a book called Based on a True Story, a memoir. You spent 5 seasons on the cast of Saturday Night Live in the 1990s.
Yes,
how did you secure a tryout on the show, given the fact that your background was stand-up comedy, not sketch comedy?
Well, I was working on a show called Roseanne with Roseanne Barr,
mm-hmm.
and I talked to the head writer of Saturday Night Live who liked me. He phoned me up and he liked me, and so he gave me the job. And so I went to Roseanne and I quit, and I came to New York. And then they told me, you're meeting with Lawrence tomorrow. And I'm like, what's that for? And they go, well, that's the audition, you have to audition. So I'd already quit my job. I thought I had the job. That was what I was told, that this was just a mere formality to meet Lauren. And then it turns out it's an audition. So I go in and he goes, I'd like to, you have to do 2 impressions. We have to go to the studio, you have to do 2 impressions, 2 characters. Everyone has to do it. And I said, I got to go home because I can't do that.
I don't do impressions.
I don't do impressions, and I don't do characters. And I think he got a kick out of me or something. Lauren was always with me. He always thought I was just a big moron.
Well, he let you do the news. You're best known as the host of Weekend Update, or as you call it, the fake news. Did you do most of the writing for that, or was that something that was
I did most,
collaborated?
But it was collaborative. But I kind of set the tone, and I tried to make the jokes different than other jokes, and we all tried to experiment. There was three of us, and we tried to experiment with comedy and the way that you tell a joke. And my idea was to strip bare all innuendo and all cuteness, and just leave the bare bone of the joke. And if it didn't work, then it wasn't a good joke to begin with. But if it just relied on tricks.
Were there certain stories that were off limits?
Oh, yes. People always ask me, because I do stand-up, is anything off limits? And I hear comics go, nothing's off limits. And I think almost everything's off limits for me.
And you learned, of course, that the O.J. story might have been considered off limits. You were doing this during the time of the O.J. trial, and you got a lot of humor out of that. But
well, yeah.
How and when were you aware that NBC President Don Ohlmeyer was a good friend of O.J.'s?
I found that very strange. Well, listen, I admire that he stood by him. He stood by his friend. But the jokes I did about O.J. were filled with moral outrage and righteous indignation because I didn't like him.
You didn't like him as a person? You knew him?
No, sir, I didn't. I didn't like. I don't like murderers, and I was convinced he was guilty, even though he was innocent, as it turned out.
Well, he was found not guilty. It's not the same thing.
Listen, I don't think it's
many
fair.
people believe that he was a murderer.
I don't think it's fair that he was given 40 years for stealing his own shirt. You know what I mean? I don't think that was fair. That he was obviously found guilty of the previous crime.
But do you think you were let go, as some do, because of the O.J. jokes?
I don't know.
David Letterman said of you, there may be people as funny as Norm, but I don't know anybody who is funnier. And if we could have, we would have had Norm on every damn week. You had obviously a very special relationship with him, and you performed the final stand-up set on his last year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was the last. It was the last stand-up set, and everyone was being very cool with Letterman, very ironic, and that's not how I felt about it. As it came to an end, because he was such an important person in my life, and I feel he was a very important person in culture. I think he changed the way everybody thought and spoke. And so he was very important to me, and I just watched it and saw everybody be cool, and I was not cool about it. I was very sad that he was leaving.
You got very emotional. Well,
I did.
You followed Donald Trump on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon last
Yes,
week,
I
one of
did.
the more controversial interviews with Donald Trump.
When I saw it, I didn't think it was controversial. I mean, goodness gracious, it's Jimmy Fallon. He's maybe he blew his chance to be host of Meet the Press, but it's Jimmy Fallon.
Maybe he'll get Matt Lauer's job.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it's Jimmy Fallon. What do you expect? I mean, that's why Donald Trump did it. But I will say this, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, my God, Donald Trump is being very reasonable and measured. This is getting a little frightening. Like, maybe he can pivot. I don't know.
You've had your own television series, which lasted 3 seasons. You co-wrote and starred in a feature film. You've done voiceovers, had a short-lived sports show, a podcast, and even played Colonel Sanders in KFC commercials. Yet you remain somewhat a cult personality. How does that sit with you?
Well, all that stuff is that you mentioned is pretty subpar nonsense. All I really do is stand-up comedy. That's what I'm good at, and everything else came from stand-up comedy just as an accident. But I'm very, very good at stand-up comedy, and the rest is just free money.
How much does the act change show by show?
My act?
Yeah, but for example, Lenny Bruce, it was always different. On the other hand, George Carlin wrote out an act, and
Yes,
he would
it
revise it a bit over the course of a year. But
He was very precise, George Carlin. His word
even
for
the
word.
uhs and the wells were written in.
Yeah, he was amazing. But no, my act's almost always different. I have so much material because I don't do specials. I mean, I'm doing a special in a month. I shouldn't say that, but I don't do as many specials as everybody else. So I would say I have about 10 hours of material, and most people don't. So I just mix it up, you know. Sometimes I will talk to the audience, and whatever they say, I will talk about whatever they say, because I have a material.
Improv.
I have material on almost. It's not improv, no. It's I have material on nearly every subject.
Comedy Central's president, Kent Alterman, described your absence from the airwaves as one of the great injustices of the world.
Yeah,
But he could give
if
you
only
a
he
show.
knew somebody.
Well, has there been talk about Comedy Central?
I don't know. I haven't been home since then. I've been on the road. But yeah, I read that. It was funny.
Well, considering what you've said about writing this memoir, can I assume that one of the things you won't be doing in the future is writing more books?
I'll probably write more books, yeah.
You will write more books.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, as much as I hate it, I feel compelled to do it. I can't explain it. But once I started writing a book, I knew that's what I should be doing. And I always thought I should be doing stand-up. And once I started writing a book, I realized I should be writing a book.
But writing funny in a book is different than writing funny for stand-up, because in stand-up, there's the tone of your voice,
True,
there's
yes.
body language.
Yes.
Here, you just have to make people laugh because of the words that you've used.
It's almost impossible. Like if you go to a library, the last place you want to be is the humor section. You know, good Lord, it's awful. And in the history of America, you know, who has there been? You know, Mark Twain,
Will Rogers.
What's the other fellow's name?
Well, there have been
Josh, can't remember his last name. But this was long ago. But modern, you know, humorists would be like Irma Bombeck and this kind of garbage.
Well, there have been some funny ones too, but
Who's that?
well, we'll talk during the break, because I have to announce that you'll be speaking with Vulture editor David Marquez. Is it Marquez?
Yes.
Tonight at the Union Square Barnes & Noble store at 7 o'clock.
Yes,
The
sir.
book is based on a true story, a memoir. It is published by Spiegel and Grau. And my great thanks to Norm Macdonald for
Thank you,
being our
Landon.
guest today.
You're a scholar and a gentleman, sir. I appreciate it.
Today on Larry King Now, it's Norm Macdonald, the former Weekend Update anchor on the recent Late Night Shuffle.
I love Leno, you know, and I don't like that everybody's against him.
Opens up about his time on SNL.
As soon as I got fired,
Sure.
Norm's great. And this idiot from this front office fired him.
Plus, first person you kissed.
Mrs. Blanchard, my math teacher.
Next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, one of my favorite people, Norm Macdonald, the former anchor of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update. He's known for his impersonations of Bob Dole, Burt Reynolds, and me. And now he's entering the online world by launching his own live video podcast, aptly titled Norm Macdonald Live, which airs Mondays on YouTube, is also available for download on iTunes. I guested with him last week. It's a lot of fun. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because I told them they always want me to do a podcast. And then I always wanted to, I didn't want to do it unless I could only interview people I like. So anyways, I'm doing it for no money.
Yeah, and it's online, it's on YouTube. Why would you do something sans pay?
Because interviewing people, I've often been offered jobs hosting shows. And I never took them because I don't have the insatiable curiosity that you do. So I said I'll only do it if I can interview only people that I'm really interested in. So I'm very interested. I got Billy Bob Thornton, who fascinates
Just
me.
saw him last week. Great
He's
guy.
a great guy and so interesting. And I got you. You were on the top of the list.
I was good.
You were fantastic. and I did an impression of you. Also.
We'll do it here.
And I do impressions of guys Like they say impressionism is the highest form of flattery. Sometimes it's not. Because guys will do me because I have a bit of an odd voice. A guy will come up in the street to me and he'll go, "Hey, I do an impression of you." And I go, "Oh, what is it?" And then the guy goes, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, you sound like a retard. But for me, since I'm not an impressionist by vocation, I can only do impressions of guys I've seen thousands of times. Can I tell you one more thing about my impression of you that I just recalled?
What?
I had a chance to meet Johnny Carson because of that impression.
How so?
Because Johnny Carson phoned me and he said he loves Larry King and every day he reads the News and Views, which was the impression I did was your News and Views in USA Today.
Right.
Which was the bullet points,
right.
Which I liked because
Nobody asked me, but it was
an older kind of thing from even earlier.
Throwback.
The throwback and I really like old time things. And so I had a chance to meet Johnny Carson, which I didn't take.
Why?
I was afraid. He'd already retired from The Tonight Show. He said, "Come to Burbank to my office and we'll talk," which sounded fantastic.
Didn't go?
I didn't go because
No,
this is why. He would tell me stories. You know, he could tell me stories about everybody, you know, that existed ever in life in show business. And then I'd have to go, did you ever meet Chris Kattan? You know, I wouldn't have anything to give back.
But he wanted to meet Norm. You missed it.
I should have done it.
You're weird, Norm.
I met guys though.
I know.
I met you. I met the great Bob Newhart.
Didn't you have a chance to host the Late Late Show on CBS?
There was talk of it. Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't quite understand what happened, but you know, right after I got fired from Saturday Night Live, David Letterman was very interested in me, and he liked me a lot, and he owned that slot.
He owns that.
After.
So why didn't you get it?
I don't know. Les Moonves might have had something to do with it.
Why were you fired?
I think the biggest mistake, the biggest thing that hurt me was I was fired from an executive, Don Ohlmeyer at NBC, and then it may have, even though I said nothing against Don Ohlmeyer after being fired, not one thing. A lot of other people said things against him because it made a good story. Like in the press, this is what I found out, Larry. In the press, a story is good. Now, I was doing Saturday Night Live and I was doing Weekend Update, and the press didn't care about me. I never read anything good about me. As soon as I got fired, Norm's great. And this idiot from this front office fired him.
Why were you fired?
I don't know why I was fired. This is what I was. A rumor came up that I was fired because I did a lot of OJ jokes.
And Ohlmeyer
was friends. But I did not believe that. And I said, because I talked to Don Ohlmeyer, and I found him to be a very candid guy.
What did he say?
He said, "I don't think you're funny in it anymore." And I said, "Well, why would a guy say that? Why would a guy make that a lie? You know, that sounded like the truth to me." And I accepted it completely.
So he didn't think you were funny.
And I liked Don Ohlmeyer because he invented the skins game. And so I said, I said, "Hey, you know, you own the cameras. What am I supposed to do?"
What do you make of Seth Meyers getting the Fallon gig?
I think I like Seth Meyers. I think it's.
Do you know
great.
If he can interview though?
I don't know. I don't. I've missed a few shows.
No, you know networks. Do you think they've run the test of Seth? He's a great guy.
Well, you know what Seth did is he went on the Kathy and Regis show after Regis left, and
did interviews there.
And interviewed on there, so I guess he impressed them with that.
How do you think he'll do? But
he's a very funny guy. But how I think he'll do, I'm always wrong with predictions.
So what is your prediction there?
I should say he's going to suck because my predictions are always wrong, right? No, I like Seth. He's a really funny guy.
What do you make of Leno?
And Lauren now owns everything.
Yeah, Lauren he's the savior of NBC.
Yeah.
What do you make of Leno?
I love Leno. You know, and I don't like that everybody's against him.
What's he going to do you think?
I think Leno will do what he's always done with stand-up, you know, and he's a brilliant stand-up, fantastic stand-up. When I first came to Los Angeles, we would all, like, watch Leno and worship him, you know. And
you know what he did that he doesn't do because of the confines of television? When you see Leno in person, he stalks the stage.
Oh, my God.
He moves
like Elvis.
He moves constantly, back and forth, and he moves. But in television, he's got to be in that center circle. So the monologue is more, here's my next.
Right.
Whereas you see him in person.
Unbelievable.
Night and day.
Like you'll see him. Can I say one thing before you go to
quick.
commercial? He'll come in and improv. Seinfeld will come into the improv and do a set. Everybody knows Seinfeld. They go nuts. He talks for 5 minutes, but he just stands there. Not Leno. He's moving around, giving it his all. Never stopped entertaining.
I don't know how he confines himself like that when he's
like
on.
a caged beast.
Coming up, Norm, on how he got the Weekend Update gig to begin with. And did you know he was supposed to have a co-anchor? Aha! That's next. Don't go away. We're back with the brilliant Norm Macdonald. No other way to describe him. He is a genius of comedy. How did you get to be the anchor of the Weekend Update?
Well, Saturday Night Live has a thing. You go to Lorne and he says you got to do 3 things. You got to write 2 sketches, you got to do 2 impressions, and you got to do 2 characters. And I said, I can't do any of that. So it was kind of a rough beginning. So he said, okay, well, bye. And I said, but, you know, why don't I just write on the show? I can write, you know, because I do stand-up, which I consider the hardest writing. And I knew a lot of guys on the show. So I did that, and then the next year they said, you want to do Update because a comic can do it right into the camera, you know, rather than act.
Did you enjoy Update?
Loved it.
Yeah, okay.
Were
you supposed to have a co-anchor?
There was a moment when, yeah.
Who was it going to be?
I can't remember the girl, but they said, do it with a girl. You know, Lauren was like, do it with a girl. I can't do impressions of him, but he goes, do it with a girl. I think Lauren liked me because I didn't understand what he was saying half the time. But he said, do it with the girl, and then she will bring you sexiness, and you will bring her comedy, like Rogers and Astaire. And I said, you mean the dancers from the...
Do you ever do it once with a girl, or they never did it?
No, I got saved actually from it because I said, I don't want to do it like a guy and a girl. They don't do that anymore. It looked like we were doing a takeoff of local news.
Yeah.
You know? It wouldn't look right. And he had me, he said,
you watch Saturday Night Live now?
Yeah, I love Saturday Night Live. Ever since I was a kid, I watched that show.
What do you make of it now?
I think the cast's amazing. You know, it's more like actors. Like when I was on, it wasn't real actors. When I was on, it was
comics.
Comics. Guys like Sandler and Farley, and big forces of nature, you know, that could really look at the camera and break
through. Actors,
and these are more like they act together. They're generous actors towards each other, so it makes for bigger sketches, but it doesn't make for the breakout stars.
You wrote for Roseanne, huh?
Yeah, Roseanne was my first job. Yeah, she was fantastic.
That was a great sitcom.
Unbelievable, and she was the most. She knew what she wanted in that show. It was very funny because every week, she hired me because I was a stand-up. Everybody else was Harvard writers, and she didn't care for Harvard people. And she saw me at this store. She said, you come write. So every week, the writers would go write a sketch, very traditional sitcom sketch, and she didn't want to do that. So she'd get rid of all these
Yeah, go ahead.
Get rid of all these jokes. Why are all these people telling jokes? That's not how people act. And so they were very frustrated. Roseanne, you know, we have to fix everything for stupid Roseanne. They hated her. Then they'd hand in the thing, and the show would be great. The next week, it would repeat, the same exact dynamic would start again. They'd never go, Roseanne's right. We got to change everything.
Now, you did a sitcom, right?
Yeah.
Norm, would you do another one?
Yeah, maybe.
What do you want to do, Norm?
I just do stand-up. Everything that I did kind of... this is what, you know, when you do stand-up, it's a specific
I love stand-up.
You do it now.
Yeah.
But
I tell stories.
But it's not good. It doesn't make you a good actor. It's the opposite. It makes you a bad actor. Because like if you want to be a good actor, you go to the grounds, you do improv where the audience is on your side. And then when you get to sitcoms, I remember when I first started sitcoms, I'd read it, I go, these jokes are all going to bomb because they would. If you do stand-up, you lose them for 5 minutes, you're dead.
Correct.
You know, and then you go to stand-up and they laugh like maniacs every time you stop talking. Like, did you ever see a joke bomb on a stand-up? I mean, on a sitcom?
On a sitcom, no, they don't.
Every joke works. As a matter of fact, that's why I liked Saturday Night Live, because you could bomb on that show. And the only other show I remember about that was the first Letterman show. A stand-up could go out there.
The daytime show.
The daytime show, but then the 12:30 show when it started. You could bomb, and I like that kind of, because I don't think the audience should be a participant in this.
So I'm going to ask you something, Norm. How do you earn a living?
Well, this is the thing with stand-up. If you're funny at stand-up,
Are you doing stand-up all the time?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
I make 0.
What do you mean?
I don't make any money right now.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You don't do stand-up now?
No, not because I did stand up for. I decided.
So you don't get booked in theaters. You don't go around and.
I stopped at Christmas of the previous Christmas.
Why?
Well, I thought there'd be a time when I could retire. It turns out you can never retire.
No, you can't.
Yeah, and the more money you make, the more they take away from you.
More with Norm after the break.
We were talking
Yeah.
about how you do stand-up.
I'm going to ask about
and
you.
I just realized you just told me when you do it, it's orgasmic.
It is. When you about to make someone, when you got that moment, when they're going to laugh, right that moment when it
You
hits.
have an involuntary ejaculation?
Not me, they. It's orgasmic.
Oh, they do.
It's orgasmic for the audience. For me, it's a high.
Yeah.
You don't tell me it's not a big high to make people laugh.
Yeah.
It's a bigger high.
But I'm on so much morphine at the time.
Has stand-up comedy changed?
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Worse?
Yes, worse.
Because?
Well, in my opinion, it's obviously all subjective, but it's become so, and I feel like, I'm not saying like I'm an old man, I don't get it anymore. I'm just saying that I believe stand-up has gotten very, very confessional and, to me, mean and ugly and so forth. And it's reached its peak to me of offensiveness. First of all, I think it's sort of, I can't be shocked, but I think it's shocking that they think they can shock me. Like,
Is it a thin line, though, between, you did a lot of stuff like parody when you knocked O.J. during that trial and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Rickles for years was one of my favorite individuals.
the greatest comedy.
Right. Now, but he was never, Rickles is hysterical, but not mean.
Not mean, that's
Not
the
mean.
difference.
There's a lovingness about him.
There is, yes. There's a show in Palm Springs called The Follies. And
I've heard about that. I haven't seen it.
They bring in they have a 90-year-old team that's a vaudeville team and old singers and old dancers. And I went to see it, and I didn't realize this because I'm of a different age that didn't see this kind of comedy. But there's no irony in it. You know what I mean? They're giving it all. You know what I mean?
Henny Youngman.
Yeah.
Classic.
Henny Youngman. They jokes. Rodney jokes. There was no and then deconstructing and punk and not dressing up. Like me, I go on stage like a slob. I look at the old tapes of Hope and Benny. These guys were men at 30 in tuxes in complete command.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think I would like it to.
Did you, what do you think of the Bill Maher's and Dennis Miller's and the political concept of humor?
I don't like politics personally. I find it uninteresting. So I would.
So you're not attracted to that?
I'm not attracted to that, but they're both very, very funny guys. But I wish they'd talk about everything rather than one thing.
You're a big
and
sports...
you know what? An interesting thing I always find on, like Politically Incorrect or now Real Time, is I always find like the political experts are trying to be funny, and the comedians are trying to be serious.
Yeah, that's really interesting to watch that.
Yeah.
You know, interesting about you, you'll like this. Jackie Gleason was a great friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
And he was like a mentor to me, and I spent a lot of time with him. And he told me, every comic, every great comic wants your love. They want to be loved.
Yeah.
You always want to be loved. That's what it is.
Is that right?
The only comic he thought who lasted for a long time, which stood above the audience, was Groucho. Groucho didn't care if you
Oh,
liked
he
him.
didn't.
But Rickles wants to be loved. You know
I'm
that.
being a big fat guy now, and for a movie.
You're still a
I've
big...
gained a lot of weight for a movie.
You're going to do a movie?
No, I'm not doing one, but I think movies always need a big fat guy.
So you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're still a nut sports fan, right?
Yes. Well, I gambled. I had a little gambling problem for a while.
Betting all sports?
Yes.
Basketball?
I'll tell you something, you don't want to find yourself betting soccer. It's like 1-0 with 88 minutes left, and
What do you
you're
get
done.
goals? we're beat 1-0.
I got bad beats, man, you wouldn't believe. Do you remember the Robin Ventura Grand Slam single?
Turned into a single. I was at that game.
You were at that game?
In New York.
Oh, my God. So I lost by half a point.
Big Met win.
Yeah, big. And I remember at the end, because they all, because it was the over-under was 7.5. It was 3-3. The only chance was a homer. Miraculously, he gets a homer with the bases loaded. One guy, and they count one. But anyways, I remember in the melee, I remember Bob Costas saying, I don't think they're going to score. I think they're only going to score one.
Yeah, because he ran past the guy.
And then later I asked Costas when I met him, I said, why'd you say that? And he told me his father was a compulsive gambler.
Oh, compulsive. In our final minutes with Norm, we'll play a game of If You Only Knew. We'll be right back. We're back with the great Norm Macdonald. You're a Twitterer too, huh?
I do Twitter, yeah, I find it fun.
You get a lot of attention on Twitter sphere for being open about your religious views. What are they?
I'm a Christian. It's not
Devout?
stylish to say now.
No, are you devout?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord?
Yes, I do.
You think you're going somewhere when it ends?
I don't believe it, but what people don't understand about faith is that you have to choose it. You know what I mean? They think that you believe it, but you have to choose it.
So you choose to have faith?
Yes.
That means you believe you're going somewhere. What is faith? But I have faith.
Yeah, the same way that you believe. There's a lot of things I have faith, but I don't really believe in DNA. Like if I was on a jury and a guy was predicted that his DNA was on this cigarette, I go, I don't know what DNA is.
I see. So you don't have faith in that?
No, I don't have faith in science.
Really?
Well, think about it. Haven't scientists always been wrong? Like they used to think the sun went around the earth. Everybody's, hey, that scientist. Well, he's so smart. We'll give him a white coat.
Other science refuted it.
Right, but back then, everybody at that time thought that guy was smart. Why at this time do we think that the earth goes around the sun?
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Huh?
Did Christ think the world was flat? These are questions I ask. Okay. We have some social media.
I'll say one thing.
What?
The smartest man in the world is supposed to be Stephen Hawking, and I heard him say that God was a fairy tale. Now, that doesn't seem like a very scientific idea.
I asked him what is something he doesn't know about. He said women.
He's had two, though, somehow.
Yeah. We have
Two
some
women.
social media questions for you. Nathaniel Riches on Instagram wants to know, who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian of all time is Bob Hope.
Gojo TV on Twitter wants to know, what are the best things in your life right now?
The best thing is my son.
What are things
That's probably you.
What are the things you'd like to change? My boys are the best. What are the things you'd like to change?
Change in the world?
Yourself.
Oh, in myself? I'd like to give more money to homeless people. I walk past too many of them.
I'd give money to them.
I try as much as I can, but every time I walk past them, I go, why didn't I give money to that guy?
I get sad. All right, we'd like to play a game called If You Only Knew. I just throw them out at you. First person you kissed.
The first person?
Remember her name?
Her?
You kissed a boy?
No, I kissed a girl.
Who was it, Norm?
It was a little girl named, am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Mrs. Blanchard, my math teacher.
You kissed your math teacher in Canada?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 7.
On the lips?
Yeah, on the lips. This is what happened. Nobody wanted to be my Valentine.
Oh, Norm.
We had an odd number of people in our class.
So you went up to her?
So I got molested.
Any weird habits? Did you have any weird habits we don't know about?
I do have I don't know if you call it OCD or AC, whatever it is, ACL. It's not ACL. That's a bad habit.
What do you have?
I flip coins constantly, and I keep track. This sounds so
whether it's heads or tails?
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy
Ever since I was a child.
Jimmy the Greek told me once, you could flip a coin 100 times, it comes up heads. On the 101st flip, the odds are still even.
The coin has no memory.
The coin has no memory. What's
You knew Jimmy the Greek, huh?
Oh, very well.
Bad ending.
What scared you? I know. What scared you the most?
Dracula's.
You don't like Dracula?
God. In a way, now that I think about it right now, I've lost my fear of him, because what's the worst that could happen? You live forever.
Yeah, why is that bad? I never understood why Dracula. She slept all night. He had to go to bed when the sun came out.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Who's your role model?
My role model is my beautiful mother.
If you weren't a comedian,
That's only
if you weren't a comedian, what would you be?
What would I be if I weren't a comedian? I guess I'd be a heart surgeon.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a lawyer, defense.
You know, when I was a
defense
kid, I wanted to be a lawyer. I always wanted to be a lawyer. But I think looking back, it was just the performing aspect. I never wanted to read big, long
You want to
books.
stand up in front of the jury.
Yeah,
Thanks, Norm.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Thanks to my guest, Norm Macdonald. Catch his show, Norm Macdonald Live, Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, on YouTube and available for download on iTunes. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, Michael, hey, nice shoes. What are they, gold? You go, no, they're yellow. I was a runner. That's why I like Michael. When I was in college, I was a runner. I was a great runner, too, man. I was the greatest, but I wasn't fast. I wasn't fast, you know? That hurts your times, you know, when you're not fast. Coach always on your ass about that, you know? But I love, man, the Olympics were great. The gymnastics, that was the other story, you know, the great gymnastics. I love that, watching the girls hopping and jumping around there, you know, and you like it. You don't know what the hell's going on, but you like it, you know. After a few days, though, you know, you figure like an expert, you know, you're watching, you're going like, 8.5, 8.5. What the hell? What the hell's that guy thinking? That was like 8.6 or something there. Seemed to me like 8.6. Guy's nuts. Some of the sports were lame, too, on the Olympics, you know, where they had, like, the shot put. I saw that, you know. And, you know, even the commentators, they don't know. They do regular sports, you know. And then all of a sudden they got to cover the shot put. They don't know. They don't know what to say, you know. Guy's like, hey, he chucked that a long way, huh? Not as far as that last guy, though. That last guy, he chucked it farther. I think he's ahead there, Bill. Because his went farther than the other guy. I'm pretty sure he's ahead. The lamest, though, of all was, you ever see that guy? It's a sport, fast walking. You ever see that one? It's just a guy walking fast, you know? The guy's like walking as fast as he can. That's lame, you know? Yeah. You gotta figure guys like Michael Johnson are ribbing this guy around the Olympic Village, you know? You know, like, hey, I saw you walking today. That was something there. Man, that was good. Man, that was a brisk stroll you had going there today. Yeah, you broke the 45-minute mile, I heard. They said it could never be done. Holy Lord. Sometimes they combine sports, too, in the Olympics. You ever see that? Where they have two sports, they're good separately, you know, and then they try to combine them, just make a mess of them, you know, like, I saw this one guy run a 100-yard dash and then fish. You know the guys? There's fish in there in a creek, you know? Like crazy. Toughest sport of all, the most grueling, the decathlon. That was the toughest, you know? That's where the guy, you know, he has to run and jump, he has to climb up a ladder or something like that, you know? I don't know all the things they have to do. But they have to do 10, you know? And then they're the greatest athletes in the world, they're considered, you know? They're 10 sports, and then at the end, you know, they get a gold medal, you know, which sounds good until you consider it's the same gold medal they gave the fast walking guy, you know? That's not fair. That's crazy. It's insane. You know? That fast walking guy, he shouldn't get a medal at all. They should give him like a stick or something, you know? You know? You know what I mean? You go, here you go, a stick. There you go, that's for you, a nice stick. That's where you win, a stick. Yeah, you can hang that around your neck there. It's a stick. That's where you won. I hope you wore some wooden shoes, pal, because you won a stick. That's what you got. All right. Okay, folks, hey. Next one, I'm going to go over here. Thanks.
Funny, Norm. Have a seat. Hey, good to see you again.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jay.
Have you been watching the conventions? You follow them?
Oh, yeah, I'm watching every day, you know. I love Dole, you know, he's my favorite guy. And he, why is that funny? He's a great guy.
Nice
he was
man.
happy. Now he's getting happy, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause yesterday I saw him at a convention. He broke into a huge half smile, you know.
Oh, well, yeah.
He's nice. But, you know, all joking aside, I know you love to joke, Bob Dole, you know. But that guy, he's a war hero, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
He gave his arm for his country. You know, he went through all these debilitating injuries during the war for his country. It was great. And in all fairness, though, Bill Clinton also, he had a kind of some war injuries.
Really?
You know? Yeah. When he was in England there during the Vietnam War, I heard he had a bad injury. He burned his mouth on a bong.
Really?
But you see, the only way Bill Clinton or Bob Dole can win, really, is if Bill Clinton is rocked with more scandals. You know, there's every day a new scandal comes up. You know, I heard this one today, terrible scandal apparently. Way back when he was governor of Arkansas, Bill Clinton apparently he got really drunk one night and he had sex with Hillary.
Wow.
That's no good.
That's a shocking, shocking thing.
Yeah.
Well, you begin your fourth season when? September 28th?
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Norm, good to see you again.
Hey, good
Come
to
see us
see you,
anytime.
Jay.
Norm Macdonald. Be right back right after this.
No, but listen, man. I'm not afraid of no monsters, you know. When you think about it, man, we spend most of our adult life petrified of monsters, you know? And I'm just coming to I'm saying enough, man. You know? I'm not gonna live under the tyranny of these monsters that walk among us, you know? If they get me, they get me. And some of them I don't even know what's so scary about them. Like now they got a movie I seen, Wolfman, you know, which is very scary, right? A Wolfman. You know, they got a movie, and it's like a werewolf. I think it's exactly the same. I'm not sure. I haven't studied it close enough. But I believe, like, if a wolfman came at you and stuff, you went, a werewolf. People wouldn't go, it's a wolfman, you idiot. But my point is this. I am not afraid of a wolfman or a werewolf because when you think about what they are, they're half man and half wolf. So therefore, I am only half afraid of them as I am of a wolf. And there's no movie called The Wolf. See, if you got a wolf man, half the time he's a man. You can reason with him. Yeah? You can sit down, have a cheese sandwich. But a wolf, man, you can't reason with a wolf. A wolf only wants to eat you. So I'm not afraid of a werewolf. I'm not afraid of ghosts. They don't scare me, you know? Not at all. I mean, I don't want to say I'm invulnerable to fear, but they simply don't frighten me. You know? First of all, what do? You know, they just go which that's not that scary to me. Yeah? And then they're invisible. They're like and you're like, what? You're invisible. You can put your hand through them. That kind of a person never frightens me. You know the kind of guys that frighten me? You ever meet those guys where you can't put your hand through them? I don't care for those fellas. But when I can put my hand through them, doesn't scare me in the least. This is how unscary they are. I was at a hotel a couple of weeks ago. In the lobby, they were saying they were bragging about there was a ghost in the hotel. You know, how scary can that be? You know what I mean? They're like, every night, Mary with the blue dress. That was her nickname. She was murdered, and she hangs around the bed. You know what I mean? And she'll come over, and so beware, because Mary with the blue dress. which was her nickname, which was an odd nickname because you'd think her nickname would be Mary the Ghost. You know. When they came time to pick out her nickname, you know, I think they were like, oh. They go, hey, what do you notice about Mary that makes her distinctive? We got to come up with a nickname for her. I know she wears a lot of blue dresses. She seems to have an affinity toward blue dresses. You're talking about Mary, right? The transparent lady? So I would call her Mary the Ghost. And anyways. And all they seem to do is complain, these ghosts. You ever know what I'm saying? And I was like, I can't. Everything's wrong. They're never happy or nothing, you know? They're like, I have to, something bad happened to me. And if I don't get it cleared up, I have to travel all through the world in pain and sorrow, you know? And then I'm like, well, I do too. What the hell? At least you get to walk through walls and stuff. You get to do cool stuff. I think I'll have some more water. I love water.
All right, throw the pie.
Oh, this is such a lovely dinner party, Marge. I'm so sorry Billy couldn't make it. He's just so busy with his ventriloquism.
You must be so proud of him.
I am.
I know we're really proud of our Jimmy.
Well, there's no business like show business. Norm, what are you doing these days?
I'm a doctor. My son, the doctor.
Kurt, don't.
What the hell is wrong with you? I'm a surgeon, Dad. You've never been able to accept that. Oh, where did I go wrong? I raised him to be a comedian, but no. For his 4th birthday, I gave him a rubber chicken. He tried to revive the goddamn thing. I removed a man's spleen today. What kind of job is that for a grown man? When I was your age, I was on the Jack Parr show, remember? I just want to help people, Dad, to make them feel better. You make them feel better, you make them laugh. Now, laughter's the best medicine, huh?
That's true.
No, Dad. Sometimes synthetic morphine through a slow drip is the best medicine.
That's all right, dear. It's just a phase he's going through.
No, I want to tell you.
Honey, I was talking to Millie today down at the HBO, and she said they have an opening for a comedian tonight. You'd have your own half-hour special and a comprehensive dental plan. It's such a good opportunity, dear.
But, Mom, I'm not a comic. I'm a healer.
Just this once, dear. Do it for your father's sake. He'd be so proud.
Then Nipsey says to me, I got news for you. That is not a bratwurst. All right, I'll do the damn show. But I won't be happy. I'll be miserable. Fair enough.
We better leave now. You're on stage in 15 minutes.
Oh.
From the Vic Theater in Chicago, HBO presents One Night Stand. Starring Norm Macdonald. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm Macdonald.
Thanks. Well, good to see you. Good crowd here. How are you doing tonight? You all right? Good stuff there. Well, I'm doing all right, too. Not much of a day for me. I bit my tongue today. That was about all. You ever do that? Man, that hurts, huh? Still hurts. And
Very embarrassing biting your tongue, you know. You just be walking down the street, minding your own business, you know. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, doodly-ho! And then everybody's looking at you and everything there, you know. And you're ashamed, you know. You feel ashamed that you bit your tongue. People go, hey, what's the matter with you there? You go, oh, my uncle's sick. Yeah, I didn't bite my tongue, if that's what you think. I'm surprised I don't bite my tongue all the time, actually, you know, because I got so many teeth, you know. I got 50, 100 teeth, something like that. And they're all right around my tongue there, you know. They don't get out much. But I quit smoking. That's good for your teeth, man. You ever try that? Holy cow, is that tough, huh? I smoked ever since I was a kid. I always remember smoking, you know. One time I remember I was a little kid. I was like 8 years old. And I was behind my garage. I was sneaking a cigarette back there. And my dad caught me. I'll never forget it. His big head came around the corner of the garage. There it was, my dad's big head. And then his body right after it. There was his body. Trailing his head as it often would. And he grabbed me. And he hauled me in. And I thought I was in for the strapping of my life, you know? What he did is he pulled out his giant cigar. Must have been half the size of my arm, this big cigar. Stuck it in my mouth, lit it up, made me smoke it all the way through, right to the end. That's when I started smoking cigars real heavy. That plan backfired on him. Then there was another time I remember, now that I'm thinking about it. I was behind the garage again, as luck would have it. And this time I was smoking a big fat joint back there. And don't do drugs. And my dad's big head showed up again. And there's no body this time, just a big head. That was the funny part. You like to mix it up like that, you know? So anyways, he grabbed me there with his teeth and he hauled me in. And I thought I was in for the strapping of my life, you know, but injected me with heroin. So he was a strict man, I'll tell you that. But you gotta quit smoking, that's all I know, man. You gotta quit smoking. It's not all I know other things too, but be a kind of a wasted life if that's all I combed out of it there. But you gotta quit smoking, because otherwise you get old and then unhealthy, you know? You see a lot of that, you know? Although some guys don't. You ever see those old guys, doesn't matter what the hell they do to themselves, they just grow old anyway, you know? Meet a guy, be the oldest bastard you ever met, you know? Just does everything wrong, you know? Every day, I smoke 4 packs of cigarettes, I drink a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I hit myself in the head with a shovel every goddamn day. I'd like to die. God, I'd love to die. One time I put a shotgun in my mouth and blew the whole goddamn back of my head off there. Just a slight ringing in the ears. I can't die. I think my girlfriend wants to get married or something, you know? She's dropping hints now all the time, you know? I think she wants to get... Last week, she got a 1-year subscription to Bride magazine. And I renewed it for another 5 years. Man, them engagement rings, boy, they cost a lot, boy. I was looking at them. Cost like $1,000, $2,000, you know, $3,000, something like that, $4,000. Big number divisible by 1,000, anyways. And you can get cheap ones too. I saw one ring, $20 there, engagement ring, you know. But what the hell are you gonna do with that, huh? You know? Go, here you go, honey. I love you a little bit. I get down on my knees, but it seems kind of stupid for $20. But I don't know. I don't mind spending a lot of money, but a ring, that's a kind of a pointless thing there, you know? I don't know. I think I'm gonna get my girlfriend a nice engagement stereo. You know, that's... Right. Say, with this wall unit I thee wed. Here you guys. There you hold on to that. So, who knows, though, huh? Everything's expensive. Everything costs money there, you know? I went to buy a dog. I couldn't believe how much these dogs cost. Salesman in a store trying to sell me the most expensive dog in the store, you know? Big $600 dog. It's big pit bull, $600, you know? And I was looking to pay, you know, maybe a buck, something like that, you know, maybe $2, something like that, you know? But I was going, hey, don't you got a bargain dog around the joint here? And Any kind of a dog of the week going on this week? A big bin of dogs maybe that I can pull something out of there? But this guy goes, no, he says, why don't you buy this pit bull? He says, this kind of expensive dog, but he goes, this will protect your valuables, this dog. You know? And, I don't have anything very valuable, I don't own a lot of stuff there, I buy the pit bull, that would be the most valuable thing I own, right? I'd have to buy something to protect it then, I'd be out shopping for wolverines the next day there. Show me something in a timber wolf, my good man. I'd be saying to some good man there. No, you don't want a dog like that, man. I want a dog do things for me, Fetch my slippers. That's the joy of having a dog, Pitbull won't do that stuff. Go, hey, Pitbull, fetch my slippers. Pitbull go, hey, I could kill you, pal. I'm a Pitbull. Don't you read the papers or anything? I kill. I don't fetch. I fetch people. That's all I fetch. I can fetch you a guy. That's the best I could do there. And maybe you're wearing some slippers. How'd that be? When I was young, no such thing as a pit bull. When I was a kid, it was the meanest dog around, the Doberman dog, And they'd kill you, too. They'd rip your throat out just the same, But not fast like a pit bull, eh? A Doberman always give you a little head start there, They were a sporting dog, them Doberman. They'd see you in the street, they'd go, hey, that your house over there? Yeah, go ahead. Then they soar through the air and rip your throat out. And do a flip, and you'd be impressed, even though you're dead, Man, look at that flip. But I don't want it. You don't see Dobermans around anymore. You ever notice that? Pit bulls now, they got all the work and everything. All the domestic security jobs go to the pit bulls. And, man, a Doberman's like the forgotten dog now, Once in a while you see him on a park bench with a Frisbee there, I used to be somebody. I'm a Doberman. Got a buck? Buck for the Doberman? So I don't get any of those killer dogs, I always buy a dog. When I'm buying a dog, I think to myself, I go, hey, if this dog goes berserk, could I take him? I got a nice wiener dog. I got one of them wiener dogs. Wiener dog can't rip your throat out or anything like that, Unless you're lying down, everybody. You have to be lying down sleeping there, and a wiener dog sneak up late at night, start nibbling at your throat there. Maybe by daybreak he's got a hold of a vein there, he's pulling out a vein there. You wake up, oh, get away from me, you wiener dog. The hell you think you're, a pit bull or something there? Get my vein back there. Where does he get off a wiener dog? There's a hickey, a little hickey there. That's about all. And that's embarrassing too. Hey, you ever have a hickey, man? You be walking down the street, people see you, hey, you got a wiener dog over there, huh? So I do, now that you mention it. So you never know, though, huh? But the hell with dogs. I'm going to get to be a big guy, just defend myself. I'm going to work out. That's what I'm going to start doing. I haven't worked out forever. I never worked out. Good God, has it been that long, ever? But I got to start, because, man, I used to be in good shape. When I was younger, that's when I was in good shape, Back when I was in my peak physical condition when I was about, one. Man, you should have seen me back then. When I was one. Oh, God, I look good. Young and fresh. You wouldn't know me now if you see me when I was one, I even look good for my age. People would come up to me and go, what are you, 0? I go, no, I'm 1 over here. They go, man, you don't look a day past 0. I'm not bullshitting you there. Look good. And I go, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I'm 1. So you gotta stay in shape. And I watch the TV. Watch a lot of sports on the TV. Everything on any sport at all. I don't care, And some of those sports are not even sports, You ever see those sports on the TV where they just try to take 2 different sports and combine them together and make up a new sport? They don't even work together, like Guy will run a 100-yard dash and then fish. But I don't know. So there's one cliff diving. There's a weird sport. Hey, a guy diving off a cliff there, and they're trying to pass it off as a sport. You know, it's like attempted suicide pretty well, eh? Next week, I saw on a TV guide that got washing down Quaaludes with wood alcohol. Can you believe that? What about that for a sport, eh? But it's tough to know who's better in cliff diving either. Like you see a guy diving off a cliff, they go, oh man, a guy diving off a cliff. And then another guy dives, whoa, there's another guy diving off a cliff there. But you can't tell who's better, you know? Like, if you survive it all, hey, you're a great cliff diver there. There's only 2 classifications in cliff diving there. There's a grand champion and then stuff on a rock. Very hard to make a comeback in that sport, I'll tell you that. It's a lot of dedication there. Oh, man. But I don't know, though, you know. I love the TV, though. Anything on the TV at all. Watch game shows. You ever watch them? You ever see that game show, The Dating Game? That's the oddest game show I ever saw, that show, you know. They got no prize in the show. They just give you, like, another contestant. That's your prize. Just pair you off. No budget at all on the show, you know. And they always do the same thing on the show. They get a beautiful girl, match her up with 3 giant geeks there, you know. Last week they had a guy on, was like a crazy guy, loony bin, kind of a psycho wingnut, you know? You can tell by how they introduce him. Bachelor number 2 is a shadowy lurking character. From no fixed address, please welcome. He's just a guy. Menacing figure shambles into the studio there, you know? And then they make the girls, you know, ask those questions. Eh? They always be about sex, you know? Always thinly disguised sex, you know? Never direct, you know, insertion or anything, but it's always something about, you know, like the girl go, Bachelor number 2, if I were a popsicle, what would you do to me? What would you do to me if I were a popsicle? That's what it says in the card here. So guys, well, if you're a popsicle, huh? Well, first of all, I guess I'd take your wrapper off. If you know what I mean. And then I'd grab a hold of your sticks. If you know what I mean. And then I'd press you against the counter till you're broken too. Put half in the freezer till later. You know what I mean there? You understand what I'm getting at? That was nuts. Crazy as a hoot owl, this guy. Oh, well, it's good to be here, man. I came down here. I got a lift down here. We drove down, me and my 2 buddies there, and 4 hours it took us to drive down here. And I was in the back seat all the way. You ever been in the back seat for a long trip? Oh, man, is that stink or what? Man, what a rough place that is. And when there's only 3 in the car, you know, and you're in the back seat, you know you're not the most popular guy in the car. Got no dignity back there at all, you know? Didn't even have a door for me, just one of those 2-door cars. Only had doors for the front seat, guys. I didn't even have a door at all. I had to bum a door off one of the guys to get out of the car. Man, lonely back there. You want to be in the front seat, that's where you want to be, huh? Right beside a driver, that's the place. Second in command there. You get to look at a map and everything and check out the tapes out of the box and all that stuff. You go, hey, man, the driver dies, I'll be the driver. Got responsibility there, you know? Backseat, man, you're just cargo back there. You know, just nothing back there. You can't talk to them, you know? You got that class barrier, front seat, back seat thing there. You can't smash through that, you know? You ever try? You just stick your head into the front seat? You go, hi! What are you guys talking about? It's me from the back seat. Okay, I'll go back there. But after a couple, 3 hours on the highway, you get so lonely in the back seat, you know? After a while, you start trying to make contact with other people in other back seats along the way. You ever do that? Look out your little excuse for a window there. I'm backseat people too over here. We must band together. I have some literature for you to look at there if you want. Could be a cow in the back of a flatbed truck there. Hello there. It's livestock, but it noticed me there. You really tell how to care about you in the back seat by that fucking seatbelt they give you, huh? Just right here, no shoulder strap or nothing, just same seatbelts they banned from the front seat back in the 50s. Said, man, we can't have these in the front seat. We throw them in the back seat. We'll give you shoulder straps up here and airbags, and on impact, a medic will jump out of your glove compartment there. You're good up here. Even got a headrest for it, you know, so your head doesn't hurt or anything. You know? Man, you be in the back seat, that headrest just be like a face smasher to you, you know. Just grimly mocking you for the whole trip there. Headed going to that like an overripe cantaloupe there, you know, just splash. The only way you can escape is to sleep, you know. That's the only thing you can do in the back seat. Sleep and for a chance to dream. I love sleeping. I know you like to sleep? Oh, it's the best, man. You ever be having a really good dream, and then right in the middle of the dream, you wake up right in the best part of the dream, and there you are back in your stinking life again? Man, that's rough, huh? So then you fall asleep, try to re-dream it. Man, that never works out there. Always end up with some weird mutation of your original dream there, you know? Well, the other night I was dreaming, you know, I was in a pool with Christy Brinkley, and we were approaching each other, me and Christy Brinkley in a pool, and we were just about to touch, and I woke up. So then I fell asleep, tried to re-dream it there, ended up shooting pool with David Brinkley. That wasn't very much fun there, I'll tell you that, man. Well, I'm looking for gifts. You ever get a bad gift, you know? Last Christmas, man, I got the worst gift a guy ever gave me. He gave me a lottery ticket. You ever get that for a gift? Man, what a stinking gift that is. Huh? You know, what's a guy even thinking there? I go, here you go. Nothing. Merry Christmas. It's nothing. From me to you, not anything. You know, unless it wins, then it's something, man. But let's face it, you give a guy a lottery ticket, you know, you don't want it to win. What kind of fucking nightmare would that be, you know? Imagine that, you get a call a week after Christmas there, go, hey, Fred, what's happening there? Yeah, I remember that ticket I gave you. 14 million bucks, huh? Good for you, Fred, yeah. No, I'm happy over here. No. Listen, what'd you get me again there, Fred? I can't remember what you got me. I know I got you to 14 million, but I can't remember for the life. Oh, yeah, the cup. Yeah, I remember now. Yes, thanks for asking. I'm enjoying the cup there. I had some tea out of it the other day there, and some coffee. I'm hoping to have some soup there, and guess no chance that cup's skyrocketing in value at all, huh? I guess that's a sensible view. Well, I gotta go now, Fred. I gotta go apply a shard of glass to my throat. Okay, goodbye. Oh, you never know. But you always gotta buy. I gotta buy for my dog now. I gotta buy gifts for him, you know. And, man, he has a birthday like 7 times a fucking year, too, you know. So always out shopping for him there. And, man, you don't know what to get a dog. It's very hard to buy for a dog. You know, what the hell are you gonna get him, you know? You want to get him something he wouldn't ordinarily get for himself, you know, but that's just strewn garbage. That's all he ever gets for himself. I got him a rubber bone. I thought he'd like that, you know. Dog gets it, goes, oh, great, a bone. Oh, yeah, it's not a bone. Million laughs, pal. What's next, an electric fire hydrant over here? What the hell are you doing to me? I'm a dog over here. My grandmother, she got my dog a sweater. She knitted him a sweater. What a useless gift that is, huh? Big green sweater, you know. I don't want to make the dog wear it, you know. It just humiliates the dog there. You know? And what happens if the dog gets lost, you know? He's wearing a sweater. Huh? How long is he going to survive in the alleyways with that on his back? Yeah, them's mean streets if you're a wiener dog in a cardigan, I'll tell you that. You're gonna last too long here. They off you like a... whatever they off you like. So who knows, though. My dog doesn't really talk, by the way. I know my dog talks in a lot of my little jokes there, but I'm just lying there. He's a regular dog, you know. I lie like that sometimes. You ever lie? Who the hell doesn't lie? Hey, you gotta lie, but you ever lie for no reason? That's the worst kind of lie, huh? You know, because usually there's a reason you lie. Like you want to protect somebody's feelings or, you know, fuck over your buddy or something like that. You know? Would you ever just a big lie spills out of your evil head all of a sudden you don't even know? You know, like a guy will come up to you and go, hey, you ever see that movie with Meryl Streep and the horse? And then you go, yes. And then in the back of your head, you go, what the fuck am I lying about over here? I stand to gain nothing by this lie. The hell am I thinking back here in my head? So, I don't know. You try to be a good person now, eh? That's the best thing. A lot of bad people, man. A lot of bad guys. I was reading this one guy in a paper, you know. Baddest guy I ever read about. This guy killed his family, if you can believe this, folks. Killed his family because the devil told him to. Can you believe that? Man, what a dork, huh? That was the headline, actually. What a dork! Guy kills his family because the devil told him to. But can you imagine that? And then afterwards, you go back to the devil, you know, you go, yes, devil, I did as you instructed. I slaughtered my family as they lay sleeping, and then I chopped them up and put them in a duffel bag. Here they are. I got them here in a duffel bag. I'll be burying them tonight at the shallow grave by the side of the railroad track, as you have commanded, O Lord host of the hoary netherworld. And then the devil pulls off a mask. It's me, Bob! Then you go, ha, Bob! Jeez, you got me there, Bob. You got me. Is my face red or what over here? I got my family in a duffel bag. That's one for you there, Bobby boy. Okay, listen, folks, you've been great. Thanks a lot, huh? Enjoy.
That was great, kid. You killed him.
You're a good boy.
You sure are. My God, I didn't know you could do it. I didn't know.
Wait, my husband is choking. I need a doctor.
I am a funny man.
Thank you for coming. Please turn off your cell phones and pagers. I have a short statement to make. My name is Norm Macdonald, and when I became a comedian, all I ever wanted to do was make people laugh, and perhaps make them think as well. However, I've come to realize that failure has dogged me at every turn, and that mediocrity has been my hallmark. So it is, with a heavy heart, but a clear conscience, I've decided to retire from show business.
No. Norm, what about a reality show?
No, there'll be no reality show. I'm not going to eat a plate of bugs. Call me old-fashioned, but I do not believe that you have to shock people to get a laugh.
Oh my
Please stand back. Please stand back. I don't want anyone to be hurt. I do not want anyone to be hurt.
feel more and more peaceful. Uncle Joe! Grandma!
Hello, Norman.
Hey, Uncle Joe, I see your fishing pole there. They don't have a lake here, do they?
Exactly like the one I used to take you to when you were a boy, you remember?
Hey, let's go catch some trout.
Would you like that, Norman? Would you like to spend your days in endless tranquility, try to fool a trout with a bit of floating feather?
There's nothing I'd like better.
Well, you can't do that. You've got to go back.
But I can't return. I just shot myself in the head at a press conference. If I go back there now, I'll look like a damn fool.
Well, you have to go back. You have some unfinished business. You have to do a comedy show.
What? A comedy show? Come on, guys. Have you seen the shows I've done? They suck. Let's face it, I'm just not that funny.
Oh, we know, Norman. We know. But you have to go back. You have things you have to do.
You guys don't seem to understand. It doesn't matter in life if I was funny or not anymore. As of 5 minutes ago, I became a comic legend. They're going to be playing that on the internet till the cows come home. Now let's go fishing, Uncle Joe.
Listen, you little punk. Maybe around here's so good. I could be nice. I could be one damn son of a bitch. So you go back there. Do that show. Do that show. Do the show. Get me?
Uncle Joe, relax. I'll do the show, okay? Well, folks, I know you're thinking, you're going, hey, Norm, why are you wearing a crazy getup with some kind of a cave set behind you? Well, here's the thing. Have you heard about these guys that strap themselves with explosives and blow themselves and all these innocent people up? Have you heard of these people? Yeah. Well, you'd think these guys would never get into heaven, right? Wrong. Not only do they go to heaven, but when they get there, they get to have sex with 72 virgins. It's ridiculous. But anyways, I was wondering how they come up with the number 72 because, you know, I know it's a nice round number, but it seems, it's a number that seems a little arbitrary to me, you know, so I wanted to get to the bottom of this. So I did some research on the computer there. I hit the, you know, the www. Why do these guys get 72 virgins when they get to heaven? You know, it seems a little arbitrary to me. .org. So I found the answer. I'm going to share it with you. But instead of just telling you, I thought it would be better to dramatize it in the following playlet. Check us out.
Oh, is it hot out there or what? All right. Okay. All right. Where is he? Let the planning begin. Yes.
Hey, fellas, what's up?
Oh, there he is, our hero, well rested and ready to start his mission.
Yes, I am set to go. Give me a hug, huh?
Okay, Akbar. Okay, well, let's go over the plan to make sure we got it all straight, okay? All right. At rush hour, you run to the corner of Camel and Oasis. You start screaming something crazy at the top of your lungs. And then you push this button. Okay, pretty simple. Any questions?
No, no questions at all. Just a few. I was just wondering, there's so much explosives and dynamite. Won't people notice me putting them around the corner? Also, how far can I be from Camel and Oasis before I can safely press this button?
Akbar, don't you remember talking about being a martyr?
Oh, yes. I want to be a martyr more than anything.
You do know what a martyr is.
Of course I know what a martyr is. A martyr is a guy who blows up a lot of people. Then he runs away. He lives into a ripe old age as a beloved hero, enjoying his martyrdom.
No, Akbar, that's not exactly what a martyr is.
Really? Are you sure? Because I always heard there was a guy who blows a lot of people up and then runs away and lives to a ripe old age.
Of course I'm sure. I'm sure of what a martyr is. A martyr is, well, frankly, someone who blows himself up.
Well, that last part sounds a little dangerous. Listen, Yusuf, you're a nice fellow and everything, but this is not for me.
Look, wait. What if I was to make it worth your while? Huh? Well, I mean, what if I said that I would take care of your children and your wife for the rest of their lives?
Oh, no. Akbar is not married. You do not know Akbar. Akbar likes to play the field. As Akbar always says, why buy the cow when you can have sex with many cows for free? You like that one?
Very funny, Akbar. I always heard you're quite a ladies' man.
Well, I live in a cave with no running water. I do all right.
Wait a moment, huh? Wait a moment. What if I could hook you up in heaven?
In heaven?
Yes. Imagine this. Upon completion of your mission, you will be greeted in heaven by 25 hot ladies. 25.
25 hot ladies? Oh, that sounds... 25 sounds a little low. How about 100? I do it for 100.
100? Akbar, be reasonable. I'm not a magician. All right. 30 hot ladies. That's my final offer.
30! 30 is an insult to me. I consider doing it for 95.
95? You're killing me, Akbar!
I'm killing you, that's rich! Let me tell you something, Yusuf. Right now, 91 hot ladies. Or I take my business elsewhere.
All right. Come on, Akbar. Come on now. What's it gonna take for me to get you into this vest today? All right, Akbar, 72 it is. Upon arrival in heaven, you'll be greeted by 72 ladies.
Hey, I'll tell you something else. I don't want any whores either, all right? Having sex with all kinds of martyrs. I want virgins.
Virgins?
Virgins!
All right, virgins, 72 virgins, all right.
Excellent.
So be it.
I'm going to be having sex with 72 hot virgin ladies. Just one more thing, fellas. I just wanted to tell you. I would have done it for 50! See you later, suckers! So my wife got me an interesting present for my birthday. Let's take a look at what she got me for my birthday.
Hey, there's the birthday boy. How about some wine?
This is really sweet of you, honey, but geez, you didn't have to go to anything special here.
Oh, no, mister, I'm just getting started. I got you that present you've been wanting.
You got me the green shirt?
Oh, the other thing you've been wanting. Listen, we've been married almost 2 years, and I know things can get a little predictable in the bedroom, but I've given it a lot of thought, and I decided to give you that thing you always wanted.
I don't know what you're talking about, Christine.
A threesome.
A threesome? Oh, my God. That's the greatest gift ever. I can't believe you. I mean, why would you think I'd want a threesome?
You have been dropping a lot of hints. I mean, you mutter threesome over and over in your sleep. You named your boat Threesome. So for your birthday, I really wanted to get you one.
Oh, wow. Christine, you're the greatest wife in the world.
Oh, honey, why don't you see who that is?
Huh. Yeah, okay, sure. Oh, hi, Gwen.
Hi, Norm.
Hey, listen, Gwen, we're kind of in the middle of something right now. You picked a real bad time, so, hey, maybe you could come back tomorrow, huh? Okay. Bye, Gwen. Man, talk about your dumb luck, huh? We're trying to plan our threesome, and Gwen shows up.
Gwen was here for the threesome.
Gwen? Well, she would be a terrible choice.
She is an awfully good friend. It could get awkward. I'll tell you what. I'm going to find us a woman we don't know. Huh?
Wait, Christine. You don't understand. You're more than enough woman for me, honey.
Oh. So you don't want a threesome anymore?
No. I want a threesome. But it's just that when I'm talking about a threesome, I don't want another woman. I want a guy.
What?
A guy. A dude. A man. A fella.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm not sure that's something I want to be a part of.
Well, why would you be a part of it?
Because it's a threesome?
Oh, my God, Christine. Do you even know what a threesome is? A threesome is me and two other guys.
So what am I supposed to do while you're having sex with these two other guys?
Well, I don't know. Hey, maybe you can catch up on some of that reading you've been talking about. As long as you stay out of that bedroom, okay? Oh, hey, honey, listen, you're not going to just go out and pick any two guys at random there, are you?
What do you have in mind?
No, I don't have anything in mind. Nothing at all, but just thinking off the top of my head, what about a really handsome guy that doesn't know he's handsome and another guy that looks just like your brother?
Okay. Okay, fine. I'm a modern woman, and if my husband wants me to get him two gay guys for his birthday so we can have sex with them, that's what I'm going to do.
You're the best. Hot diggity dog, I'm going to have sex with two gay guys. Gay guys? What the? No, Christine, not gay guys. What do you think, I'm gay? I just want two average, ordinary Joes like me to have hot, filthy sex with. These women.
Mrs. Burleson, I'm Dr. Fredericks, head of the burn unit. I understand you're the woman who set her husband on fire while he slept?
Yes, but you have no idea the abuse I put up with day after day, year after year. I had no choice. He was a monster.
Well, I'm a doctor, not a judge. I'm just here to tell you about your husband's status, and quite frankly, it's doubtful he'll ever leave this hospital.
Oh, my God.
He's been burned over 98% of his body. The 2% that's not burned is a small patch on top of his head, roughly the size of an acorn. That's fine.
Is he going to live?
He may survive, but will he live? I'm a doctor, not a philosopher. I simply don't have the words to describe the seething abyss of infinite torment in which your husband now lives.
Is he in a lot of pain?
Well, I'm a doctor, not a poet. But all the morphine that ever was or ever will be would be just a drop of rain in the ocean of your husband's pain. He's in a lot of pain.
I have to see him.
All right, Mrs. Burleson, as you will, but prepare yourself.
Roger.
You just with the wrong guy. What's the matter, whore? Can't cut your tongue?
Please, Mr. Wilson, conserve your energy.
You think your big boyfriend's gonna protect you, bitch? Well, I don't think so. 'Cause you just with the wrong already. You try to burn my fucking bed. Anybody's gonna burn anybody's bed, I'll burn your bed, bitch. You better just watch your back, woman. I'll tell you that. I got a good mind. I can give you the back of my hand right now, bitch. You better watch yourself, woman, 'cause your ass is grass, whore.
Goodbye, Roger.
Where you go, bitch? She'll be back. She'll be back. She'll be back. She just was the wrong guy.
I could not for the life of me figure out how to end the show. It's one of the toughest things to do. But I thought that the coolest ending in the history of television, to me, is 60 Minutes, because it has Andy Rooney. And I don't know if you've ever seen that 60 Minute show, but holy Christ, man, you have to plow through those first 57 minutes of those blowhards talking about Rwanda or some violinist or something, until finally you get to Andy Rooney, which is the only reason you watch the show. So anyways, I tried to get Andy Rooney to do the show, but Mr. Rooney would not do it. We couldn't get Andy Rooney. But we got the next best thing. Me in heavy prosthetic makeup. So check this out. Here's some Andy Rooney for you. It seems everyone is doing drugs nowadays. I suppose one of the worst drugs is heroin, or as they call it in the street, junk. I don't know why they call heroin junk. I mean, it's not because it's cheap or something you'd want to throw away. But when you think about it, we all do drugs in one form or another. For instance, I like to drink coffee. I know it's bad for me, but I enjoy it. Sometimes I'll have 5 or 6 cups a day. And coffee contains a drug called caffeine. So, I guess you could say that I'm a drug addict, because every day I do a drug called caffeine. And also peyote. Some people do drugs without even knowing they're doing drugs. At last year's Christmas party, I put 4 Rufinols into Leslie Stahl's eggnog. Then dragged her up here to my office, ate a handful of peyote, and we had a little party of our own. The next day, she remembered none of it, so it was all just harmless fun, really. When someone thinks too highly of themselves, we say, that fellow has a big head. I remember one time, in the midst of a 3-week peyote binge, I looked over at Morley Safer, and his head was 40 feet wide. I don't know if they have a drug that can cure that. Perhaps 300 cc's of pure adrenaline shot into the underside of his balls. All right, folks, that's the show. I want to thank you for coming. Very kind of you. I want to thank my good friend Rob Schneider for doing it. And I want to, that's all the guys I want to thank. Thank you very much.
Norm fucks with people. First of all, when I say I love you, like, that's the truth. Like, you know, being around you, your energy, it's fun. Yeah. But I had to learn a little bit. He used to come to my house. He would come to the house, and then he would say something about, like, you know, I have to use a real example. Like, I'm very anti hitting kids at all. Just, okay, we don't have to get into it now. But no, I don't mean, of course not.
Really going out on a limb now.
No, everyone knows that we're not, there's certain people that go, of course not abuse, but a proper spanking. I'm against that too.
Oh, you're against spanking.
Yes.
You're against spanking.
Yes, even spanking.
With children.
Well, unless it's two consenting adults, I don't really have any.
Spanking. What about when they get you and then it hits the back of your balls?
Oh. That's just all great timing, because I don't know what you meant. Because you would come there and I said something about it and you went off how it's all right, and you, for like 45 minutes, were like, Norm, he goes, well, you know, kids, you know, and I'm like, so then he goes, I'm just kidding. Then he goes off on an hour dissertation that was so articulate and so eloquent that it was said what I felt better than I could say it. So he was just fucking with everybody for 45 minutes. You think that'll never happen again? And it did. A month later, something came up in politics. You just throw stuff out there, and then you go, nah, and then you get everyone worked up.
I'm a provocateur.
You know, with politics, it's like, yeah, I don't like to get into it that much anymore.
Yeah, let's not get into this shit, man.
Okay, buddy.
Because it's getting, I can see people not laughing now.
No, I mean, but, you know, laughter, but, you know, I know that you've gotten into a little bit of flack around it, but you're
flack around what?
Around politics.
What do you mean?
Well, just that, you know, you've said things that people have reacted to, but you're not like a political comic.
I'm not political. I've only said things on purpose to provoke people.
Right.
Once in a while.
You like doing that, though.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
But I've never. But I've never. Because I don't know enough, and because I don't respect political humor when it's nothing but gossip. Did you see Django Unchained?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You remember when Leonardo DiCaprio and the boys were sitting around watching the slaves fight to death?
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, awful. But isn't that what boxing is?
No.
You and your rich friends, you go to Vegas, you say, bring up those poor black people from the ghetto. In the ghetto.
I don't think that's the requirement.
And a mother cry.
I don't think that's the requirement.
What's not a requirement?
You have to be African American.
But you have to be poor.
Okay. Well, it just so happens, I think. Maybe because that's a way out for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think it's cool that rich people pay money to watch two poor people fight to the death?
Well, if they're good, they won't be poor anymore. Mayweather was one of the top paid athletes last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And he lost it all on the Jaguars.
I thought we were going over my credits, and you've lured me into a discussion. You put me on the side of the argument.
I'm trying to say,
a rich white person oppressing young black males
let me say this.
into boxing. I don't know how I got.
I remember when we came in. It was you. Wasn't even Will. But the talk was all about David.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
And I think in the first year, you proved to be the guy.
I did well. I will say
Name me another guy that had that many characters in the first year of Saturday Night Live, bar Eddie Murphy.
Well, I'll bet you Mike Myers did.
First year? Mike Myers, first year? Nothing.
Nothing.
What is your favorite project you've ever worked on?
This.
I want to talk about Del Close.
Favorite project I've ever worked on, there's tons. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
A recent one on this is not just
So you don't understand the word favorite.
Wow. Is this called Norm's Hot Box today?
You're right.
No, but it's fine.
You're right. I feel like the guy that threw Cool Hand Luke into
the box.
Yeah. In a few words, tell us why Second City is so much better than the Groundlings or Upright Citizens Brigade.
Is it?
That's what he thinks.
He said, tell me why it is.
Yeah.
I keep getting put into this situation. Here's your argument you must defend.
I think women are hilarious.
Paul Westerberg. I do too.
Exactly. Yeah, well, you haven't brought one up yet.
I haven't brought a woman up?
No. as a funny. I think women are really, really funny.
What does this have to do with the replacement?
He's trying to goad me into bait me into another argument.
No, because
I have to take the side that I don't want to take.
Because you're a comedy expert, and all of a sudden you're Kurt Loder. I mean, I want to hear about comedy, and I think women are funny. And I'm tired. You do think women are funny? This is a rather troublesome thing I've got to address. This was in Adam Eagle's dressing room. If you can read it, it says, ISIS hunting permit. I said, what does this mean even? ISIS hunting permit. Everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then you said, no, I wouldn't want to kill ISIS. Does that mean ISIS hunting permit? Does that mean that this is supposed to be taken as some sort of redneck thing?
Yeah, it seems like it would be on like
Why
a
would this
redneck...
be a redneck thing?
Well, it just seems typical of something you'd see on the back of a pickup
Right,
truck.
but I said after that, I said, but no, everyone would want to kill ISIS.
The thing is that somebody would use that as permission to kill Muslims, just because they couldn't differentiate between who is ISIS and
Why
who
would
is...
they not say Muslim hunting permit?
Well, because they sort of look at all Muslims as being ISIS, you know? That's the problem. When people want to deport all the Muslims from America, they think that they're all part of ISIS, when in truth they're not.
His biggest fear is that ISIS or some terrorist group like that will get a hold of a dirty bomb and explode it over a major city within the United States and kill tens of millions of people. Because then the blowback against innocent Muslims would be absolutely terrible. Were you surprised by Brexit?
I was surprised by Brexit.
You
Thank
were,
you for
huh?
asking, yes.
I wasn't surprised.
You saw it coming?
It took me a long time to understand what it stood for. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't remember.
To you. I'll whisper it.
Good God.
I'm whispering.
No, all right, I'm listening. I'm trying to listen. Okay.
England's not doing well financially.
Right.
Can't you get you call them your mates? They're friends.
Yeah.
Everybody else in the world, they call them mates.
Sure.
Get a couple of dozen of your mates and go down to that Buckingham Palace and kill the old bag.
To what end?
Money.
Right. Are you an old sea captain? What is this shtick that you? Because I'm pretty sure I've watched some of these other editions of the show, and I'm pleased to see that I've broken from the rule of only having white blokes on the show, which seems to be you only have white men and Roseanne
because it's supposed to be a comedy.
Right.
But
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. It's alleged.
Imagine if you're with the porno lady, you're like, what about this? You like this? And she's like, yeah, my husband invented it. You're like, oh. Because you know how you think you got your own moves?
Yeah. Have you ever been with a porn star?
No, I never would do it because I wouldn't want to pull out my measly...
wiener?
Yeah. Because like, what's she going to pretend? She's like, oh, ouch. You're like, what? What about that thing I saw you in last week with that?
Is this a good surprise for you guys or a weird surprise that Norm
I'm such a big fan of Norm's, man.
It's the first time you guys have met this morning, right?
Yeah. So
John,
I'm so psyched. That's awesome.
When I knew you were coming in, I started thinking of the serious stuff, and I got to tell you about one thing. Superbad.
Yeah.
I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
I go see Superbad, and the characters, your character and the other character, the main characters, are an amalgam of me and my best friend when we were in high school.
I hear that quite often.
I call the guy, and I go, you got to come to Austin. So he comes to Austin, and we go see it together and just laughed our asses off because of that was us. That was us in high school.
Oh, that's
that whole
so nice.
thing. So huge fan on that front now.
You look good for 48, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got a guy who looks like Bruce Springsteen. You got a guy who looks like he's 25 and he's 48.
How old do you think he is?
Good-looking bunch around here.
How old do you think he is?
Good-looking city.
How old do you think Bob is?
I would say 34.
Try 53.
Yeah, well, that's how old Bruce Springsteen is.
No, he's 60.
Yeah, he's 60. Why'd you pick 30?
No, I'm darkness on the edge. I'm darkness on the edge of town.
It's like he looks like Wilford Brimley. How old? 20-year-old Wilford Brimley?
4 or 5 years old?
You go way too much. What are you, 1 years old?
Now, Bob saw the movie last night.
Thank you for that compliment. I sincerely
Man, I'm
appreciate
telling you
it.
what, that movie, and I said that's like, I don't buy, you rent movies. You don't buy. That's the one movie I've saved, and I watch
That's
it over
cool,
and over.
man. Thank you.
Bob saw the
had a
movie
chance
last
to go,
night,
man.
and
I loved it.
And before you come in here,
Oh, you saw Get Him to the Greek last night.
Yeah, we
I was
would lie
there.
to you if
The
it
other
was.
one.
If
I
we,
wouldn't have come. I would have called in sick today if it.
Well, no.
'cause,
We would have told our listeners what we thought of it, like the first hour when you guys weren't
And then-
up.
yeah, and then we
would've
wouldn't have
lied.
known,
We would
yeah.
have lied and kissed your ass when you came in here. But
Yeah.
he said
I don't want to give anything
off
away
the air
about it either, because there's so many surprises in
off
that movie.
the air this morning, I said, seriously, how was the movie? And I've seen the trailer. The trailer's hilarious. And he goes, but a lot of times the trailer's hilarious, the movie sucks ass.
Right.
He goes,
I think
"Dude."
our movie's better than our trailer.
He goes, dude,
I hate.
it was laugh out loud funny.
I hate people that you compare movies, say it's like this, it's like, but it's like, it's all the best stuff you would expect from a Jonah Hill movie with a little bit of Spinal Tap mixed in, and it reminded me a little bit of Almost Famous, the sweetness,
awesome.
the sweet parts of that, because you play a character that's like
Nick literally pitched it to me as like a dirty Almost Famous.
you're teetering, you're one of those characters teetering on boyhood and manhood, right?
Yeah.
Like responsibilities versus being this kind of rock. Fan, and I loved it on that level too, of just that of your character, of just being this guy that just doesn't know he wants to commit. He doesn't. He's facing all these things for the first time, but it's hysterical. You're going to see things in this movie that you've never seen on film before. I got to look at the rock star.
Dagwood?
No, the rock star. Aldous. Yeah, there's really not an equivalent in real life.
Sounds good, though. Is it in the theater?
There's really no single British.
Sorry, I wouldn't have had a chance.
There's not really any single like solo British rock stars like that anymore. Are there? Is he like
the closest
Bowie? But Bowie's old.
I feel like Jack White.
Oh yeah, Jack White. I mean, the closest we were thinking was like, but he's not like a bad boy, but like Chris Martin. Like was like kind of the closest equivalent, you know?
But none of them behave like that.
No,
like in
behave like
behavior,
that.
it's more just.
But it's more like taking a '70s, '60s rock star and putting him kind of in.
Pete Doherty. That's who it is. I mean, that's really who we and he's mega famous in England, obviously, and less so here.
So Nick, I'm IMDbing you, which is not a sexual term anymore, but you directed one of my favorite television shows that didn't make it, Undeclared.
I was a writer on that.
Oh,
yeah.
still.
Yeah.
What a great show. Were you on that show?
Was not, but a big fan of it.
Yeah, it was like a great. You knew it wasn't going to last because it was too good.
Well, we knew because we premiered on September 11th. So that's how we knew it wasn't going to last. Actually.
I didn't know that, really.
And Dale, you got to see that everybody's great in this film, but Sean Combs.
He steals it.
Oh my God! He blows up in this movie.
He's so funny. In it.
Unbelievable. And what we had you were doing the Q&A while the credits were. You started the Q&A while the credits were rolling. I know his face popped up at the end of the movie, and I missed it. Now I gotta go back and see what he said at the end.
It's a teaser for the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
For Thor.
Dude, you would love it.
Wait, so how old was Nick when he was directing Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared?
Or was
how old were you when you were writing for Undeclared?
For Undeclared, I was.
Well, Freaks and Geeks was first, right?
I know I didn't work on Freaks and Geeks.
Oh,
you were still in college.
Yeah, still in college.
We withdraw the question.
So how were you when you directed?
I was 24 when I was writing on.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So the story.
Like, remember when you were 24, what you thought was funny or good? You know what I mean? How hard it is to actually do good stuff when you're 24.
I remember Judd telling me what was funny and good.
I thought
he would just tell you and you do it.
I thought, Norm, I thought you were funny when I was 24.
Oh no, you might think something's funny, but what you like I remember when I was starting comedy, I was like 25 or something like that. But Eddie Murphy was already a star, you know, and he was 19.
Yeah, 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can that guy be funny? Because I remember what I thought was funny when I was 19. It was all lame.
Anyway. On Undeclared, one of the writers was Seth Rogen. He was also obviously one of the stars of Undeclared, but he was 18. I remember him coming into the first writers meeting, and all of us being like, we obviously liked him on Freaks and Geeks, but he just being like, who does this kid think he is? And then he would just turn in the funniest scripts.
So, Johnny,
he just knew it and nailed it.
You were
Wait, wasn't Byron Allen on that show too, though? Oh no, that's a different one.
You were right. You were right.
Wait, have you guys seen Comics Unleashed? Have you seen Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen? Hey, speaking of this thing, Byron Allen does this thing. You know how you guys do junkets, which is part of what you're kind of doing now?
Yeah.
But Byron Allen does this show where all he does is go on junkets. He goes to hotels, you know, and he interviews guys like everybody else does at the junkets, you know, because they bring the stars, like they bring Joan and Nick in, and then 40 guys that ask him questions. So then Byron Allen just goes in, you know, and he interviews it, but then he turns it into a show, like it's an interview show instead of a. So he goes, and then it's always like. It shows at 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, tonight on the it's Byron Allen's voice. He goes, tonight on the Entertainers, Jonas Hill, Harrison Ford, Eddie Murphy, George Harrison. It's like the biggest stars of all time.
So it's like a big talk show, but it's a junket.
And it's just him in like a small room, like with the guy with a poster behind him.
5 minutes
like
each,
2
right?
years ago that he did a movie. And then Byron, at the start of the interview, he goes, hey, man. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, he always starts the interview the same place, be like Harrison Ford, who clearly has no idea who Byron is. So Byron goes, hey, man, the last time we talked, man, you were doing that movie about the Russian guy. What's been going on with you, man? And so, like, you get in your head, maybe they have dinner together. And then so Harrison Ford, he goes, huh? But he doesn't want to look racist, you know? So he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. How have you been? He goes, pretty good, man, pretty good. So he's a master at it costs him nothing.
That's a really good practical joke.
Right. And Byron Allen is just one of 100 interviews he did that day.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Jonah, you guys started, if Wiki's right, you got started writing plays, and you went to New York to be an actor?
Yeah, I would write weird stuff in New York when I was like a freshman in college at New School University, and then I would perform them at this bar called Black and White, and then it kind of got popular.
One-man plays, or
sometimes with other people, yeah, like one acts and
right.
stuff, and then like weird performance art.
And then
things.
somebody stumbles in and sees you, and
they got kind of popular amongst students at my school and NYU and stuff, and then it got kind of like a following. It was pretty cool. I remember like a couple times I'd be like at dinner somewhere and someone would recognize me from it. And I would be so psyched because, like, they had just heard about it. Mm-hmm. You know, they're like, "Hey, you're the guy that does those weird plays and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah."
What would be
yes, I am, Mom.
What would be a play? Like, what was your favorite one that was like your signature?
Well, they would do this open mic night. This is how it got started. Was basically they would do this open mic night. It was the only place that would let us drink because I didn't have a fake ID. So they would let me drink there, and I was 18 and looked like I was like 12, you know. So, so my friend Michael took me there because he lived right around the corner, and the guys who owned the bar were really cool. And on Sunday night they had an open mic like storytelling night, so it'd be all like hipster East Village like junkies that would be like doing heroin on the A train, like not calling my dad, you know, like really serious stuff.
You don't have to say the second line. Not calling my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, we kind of surmised that.
Yeah. But yeah, very literal, like storytelling, like long stories. Yeah. And I was like, man, I should just write like a fake one.
Oh yeah.
So I started writing fake ones that the people thought were serious, and then like my friends knew it was I was lying. So like there was this one, the first one I wrote, that was probably my favorite because it was the first time I'd ever performed. And so I wrote this one about my dad having an affair with his Native American secretary. And then how I learned about Native American culture through this new woman who was like my surrogate mom, and like
I want to read that.
It was so weird, and everyone was just silent. It was like so serious, like there were no jokes in it or anything.
Friends laugh?
My friends thought it was probably the funniest thing I've ever done because it was like no one knew I was joking. You know,
was this poetry?
It was more like story, like
important stuff.
Yeah, like a 5-minute story. Like people would write like short story, reading their short stories or whatnot.
Like sometimes they'll do one man play. Like you know how people think their life's interesting. So I said one man play. It was an hour and a half. So if I think of my life, like I couldn't cobble together an hour and a half of interesting.
No, it wasn't one of those things where I was like.
It was
1968, Brooklyn. No, I'm sitting over there. The Bombers are doing great this season.
No, the funny thing is when they say they have a big dramatic moment in the one-act play, but it's just something that happened to everyone, you know. And then they're like, and that's when I found out my mother had breast cancer. And then it blacks out. You're like, what? Doesn't that happen to everyone in the world? It's supposed to be all dramatic.
We have a gentleman that. Never mind. No, we have a gentleman who does.
When I was on Saturday
We've
Night,
had a guest, a one-act play guy that comes in. Used to come in a lot.
All right.
But one-act plays are great. Like when
If they're good,
if they're good, like not one-man plays, one act.
Well, no, this is a one-man
plays.
show guy. Yeah.
One act plays.
Yeah. Story.
Yeah.
One act, one man
They're my
play.
favorite.
All right, we're gonna
great.
let's
You do
break
that? Have
short.
you ever done that in your acting career?
That's how I started. Then I started writing one-act plays.
Real one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys know how I find this interesting?
No, we do. It's just there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 open mics right now.
And I just don't know if we're making the Universal people happy.
And let's
right?
make sure that we're plugging the movie. Get them to the Greek. Can we take a break? Come back.
And it opens today.
Yeah,
is that right?
June
4th.
And would you guys be up to taking some phone calls from our fine listeners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Cool. If you guys have any questions for Jonah or Nick or hell, Michael Macdonald. Who else is in here?
Wasn't he a singer? Wasn't he a rock singer?
I was just. I know it's Norm. I know it's
the
Norm.
Doobie Brothers?
Right, but
we don't
my
need to hear
mind.
we don't need to hear your filth.
973-8300 if you want to call in. We'll be back in a minute. Dudley and Bob Show. All right, we might get a couple of calls in for Jonah if you want. Jonah Hill of Get Him to the Geek.
Get Him to the Greek.
Sorry, y'all cut me a break. I was just talking about the geeks in Superbad. Yeah, we were just talking about that. So
Get Him to the Greek.
973-8300. Get Him to the Greek.
June 4th.
And I told. Yeah, it's not out yet? Oh, it's June 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was maybe showing this weekend. But Bob saw it last night.
Wait, am I in this movie?
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
And Nick.
Do you know what it's about?
You're in the People versus
because,
Larry Flynn.
because I asked Jonas, he said it wasn't even out on the screen yet.
Nick, is it
June
4th.
4th.
Is it a sequel somewhat, loosely?
I would say it's a spin-off, but it's pretty different. There's not.
I heard it was a sequel to Weird Science.
That's your source is incorrect.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know.
You should get a new
I just
source.
know what I hear on the street.
Just Saving Sarah Marshall.
What?
Forgetting. You don't know the titles of any of the movies.
I loved you in Super Good too, by the way.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
It's good because I honestly can't remember your name.
That's all right. I'm Dave. That's okay. Just call me Dave. Everybody does. So
there's some recurring characters.
But is
in
the
there.
rock star that has the same name? Or?
Yeah, he's playing the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Russell Brand's character Aldous Snow is the same guy as he was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and other than that, there's no
But
there's
Jonah
no
in this
overlap.
movie is a junior record executive who's got an idea that he's trying to get across to his boss, and his boss accepts it, and then you've got the responsibility. It's like a road picture. You got the responsibility of getting this rock star.
It's kind of like a
this
dirty,
has-been.
almost famous.
He's not
is
really
it
a
good?
has-been, but he's had rough times.
I would say it's kind of like a mix between Almost Famous and Midnight Run.
Yeah.
Now is it like
You know, like it's like a road movie with one guy escorting, a normal guy escorting
Right.
a really crazy, messed up
and
guy.
Trainspotting.
A little bit of
And Trainspotting.
and The Last Detail, if you've ever seen that.
Just look at it.
You know, we watched The Last Detail, like, I watched it, like, every day before we started Superbad. I thought that was, like, one of my main references for Superbad.
Yeah.
There's just, like, three
Nicholson's
guys, like,
greatest
out
flick.
getting, like, hammered and, like,
I want
crazy
to ask you that when you're doing
Were you Randy Quaid?
I was Randy Quaid, obviously.
Yeah, man.
I watched Sid and Nancy before Getting to the Greek. I'm not kidding. That was my.
I watched my favorite year in Midnight Run and
I
Almost
just saw
Famous
my
a lot.
favorite year a
Those
few
were the
weeks ago. It was
my
good.
favorite year was so good. I was watching this hardcore.
How do you know when you're
porn.
shooting
What?
a comedy like this that you got it, that you're getting it right when you're filming it? I mean that
You hope and pray you're getting it right. You don't
because
really know.
there's not an audience there laughing. I always wondered, you shoot several different takes and different ways.
We shoot every tone possible in each scene.
I'm getting that signal from the publicist. It's time to wrap up. That you guys have to go somewhere else.
Well, let's take a phone call before we leave because that was rude because we said we were going to.
The only phone call I have wants to ask Norm a question.
Okay, great. Well, I was just trying to be respectful.
No, you're very much. Listen,
know.
I'm a big fan.
Well,
It's
I
kind of crazy in here today. I wished I had about 1 million questions for you.
Oh man, well, no.
I wish I had questions for you.
Listen, I wish I knew the names of your films.
No. I said I have 1 million questions for you. I wish we had more time. Did I say I wish we had more questions?
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
It's okay. June 4th, Get Him to the Greek. Austin's the best town ever, and I'm not BSing. It is the coolest place on earth.
I love this city.
It's so cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Well,
are you
thanks so much
staying,
for having
Norm, or are you going?
I got a phone call.
Oh, you got You're staying for your phone call.
My apologies that
great to meet
Thanks.
you.
This is great meeting
Yeah.
you, man. Really.
Thank you guys for having us.
No,
Yeah,
thanks
thanks
for
very much.
coming in, guys. Get them to the Greek starting June 4th.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Much
I'll
success.
see you.
I think you'll do really well.
Bye. Nick,
you
thank
around.
you.
Of course, thank you for
Thanks.
Thank you guys so
See you
much.
in LA, man.
Take care, everybody. Yeah. Thank you
See
so
you, man.
much.
Thanks, Jonah. Bye.
Say
It's weird to say goodbye in the middle of a break, but
say goodbye
bye.
to Matt.
Yeah, definitely will.
See ya.
Probably got to go do TV somewhere.
Yeah, normally they go to the TV stations.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, do the noon
You
shows.
want to take your call,
and the-
Norm?
Yeah, let's
Yeah, let's take your call. Let's go to the phones. There's no calls coming in.
What? We even lost my caller?
What? No, your call's here. What's your call? What's your question?
Hey, Norm.
What?
Big fan. You're talking about your TV shows. I heard the Norm show's coming out on DVD. I was just wondering if you did any commentaries or special features for that.
Yeah, it is coming out on TV. It's coming out on, what do you call it?
DVD.
Yeah,
Those
it is
small-
coming out on DVD.
They're like laser discs,
But I don't make any money.
smaller.
I don't make any
You don't?
money.
Really?
But they said, we'll give you money to come and comment on it. So I went in a room and they played the shows and I just talked. But I found I was talking to this other guy and I found I wasn't watching the show at all. I was just talking.
I think it might actually be
So
worth
at
getting it
first,
just
at
for
first you're
that.
commenting, you're like, that's interesting. That guy was cast at the last second. And then you realize in your mind, you go, no one cares about any of this. So then I just started going, hey, look, a coffee cup. But there wasn't a coffee cup that you'd be watching, but there was a coffee cup in the studio.
Did you remember the episodes as you were commenting? Do you remember the shooting or anything behind them?
No, I just,
No.
I don't remember much.
They pay
I
you,
just, what?
They pay you well for commenting?
Not much, no.
No.
But it was just a day's work of going and looking at myself.
And talking
Should we
what?
just steal the
Yeah.
DVDs, Norm?
What?
Should we just steal them then?
Yeah. No, well, listen. I'm not going to say straight out on the radio that you should commit a crime. You know
Want me to say it for you?
what? That you should.
That you should
commit
go
a
steal
crime?
them?
No, I wasn't thinking of that crime.
Oh, just any other crime?
Yeah. Listen, man. Are you into bank heists?
No.
Ah, shoot, man. I'm looking for a getaway guy. It's the easiest job in the bank house. In the bank heist.
The wheelman?
Ah, that guy, man, he's the easiest. He just sits in the car while we all have to go into a bank with guns. Guy's just sitting
Yeah,
in the
but
car.
he's the guy with the cop is always, tapping on the window going, hey, move it along. This is
Well,
no
no,
parking
that's
zone.
just in movies, man. That's just in movies. In real life, the guy's just parked in front of the ATM, and then you run out. There's gunfire going all around your head, and
All
then
you
you
gotta
can't
do
get
is
the
step
door
on it.
open. You come on, Frank. And he's like, I told you guys, I'm not good with guns. And you're like, gun it. Hit it.
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, well, like he wouldn't know that. That's his one thing. Like, drive
You
fast.
swear you've never had an acid flashback?
No, I've never had it. No, I never took acid. That was just a joke. I never took LSD.
Took it one time.
What happened?
I was at a Paul McCartney concert
Yeah.
in Dallas because Paul McCartney just that says acid when you hear
Yeah.
Paul McCartney music,
Yeah.
like songs like "Let 'Em In," and I was on a bus with the listeners, and this woman walked up to me. She goes, "Stick out your tongue," and I went like this, and she put this piece of paper on my tongue,
without knowing.
and I didn't know anything was
Ooh.
going on, and then
Did she tell you?
No, yeah, she right after she put it
So
on
you
my
didn't know
tongue.
you were going- you
She
didn't think you were going insane.
You just took acid. Wow. And then later in the tunnel of Texas Stadium, there was a woman holding a box of Starburst, and I also had a box of Starburst, and something in my head told me that those must also be my Starbursts. So I went up to a strange woman and said, "Those are my Starbursts."
Wow.
Like a crazy person. And then it lasted till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it
and
lasted really
wallpaper was running down, and I had to call my
No, I'll
girlfriend.
be honest with you. I did it one time.
Well, why'd you lie?
Well, because I don't want people think I did LSD, but I did it one time, and so I laid down on my bed. I was just a young boy, and I looked up, and there was a hanging plant for some reason in my room.
No, there wasn't.
And in the plant came the face of Jesus. The countenance of our Lord and Savior, Jesus, the pale Nazarene, suddenly showed up in my hanging plant. So I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, I'm on LSD. This must be like just a crazy trick of my eye, an optical, thing. And then I thought, wait a minute. What if it's just a coincidence that I'm on LSD and Jesus is showing up? That would be bad luck for me. You know what I mean? I
absolute proof he exists, and then I ignore it, thinking it was the
acid
effects of the acid. So then I'm in a quandary. I'm stuck in a quandary. I don't know if you guys have ever been stuck in a quandary. But
not while I'm on acid.
So, anyways, my quandary was it fixed itself because suddenly the face of Jesus morphed into the face of Trapper John M.D. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Which one, though? The one
Pernell
from
Roberts.
MASH? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
Pernell Roberts.
After.
You must have seen it this morning.
I don't think you've ever seen MASH where they go, hey, Trapper John M.D.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
That's that must have freaked you out when our sports guy came in because he's got that white bearded
Oh, yeah,
look.
he looks like Trapper John M.D.
There's your flashback.
It's too weird when they have the character changes, like it's it's Wayne Rogers, and it's another guy, and you're like, what? He looks different. Like I remember one time as a little kid on Bewitched, suddenly Darren looked all different, because it was a different actor.
Right.
But I was just a little kid.
But they were
so I
both
was
named
like,
Dick.
So I was like, yeah.
York and
So
Sargent.
I was like Dick York and Dick Sargent. But as a child, you see, I didn't know anything about Dick York or Dick Sargent or
What'd you
Elizabeth
think?
Montgomery. I thought of Darren Stevens and his wife, Elizabeth Stevens or whatever her name was. Sam Stevens.
Samantha Stevens.
Yes.
So anyways, when I didn't know Dick York or Dick Sargent, all I knew was Darren Stevens. So when he suddenly changed appearance drastically,
Yeah.
I thought, what's that Endora up to this time?
Oh, boy.
She was in Citizen Kane.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was in Citizen Kane. She always played,
Endora.
What about when
And
you
Mrs.
get
Crab.
cast? It's tough when you get cast as an old bag.
Yeah.
And like when you're reading the script, or it even says old bag shows up. You're like, what's this mine? But like they had the show Jake and the Fat Man. So who was William Conrad?
William
who was,
Conrad.
he was
Great
canon.
Bill Conrad.
Yeah, Bill Conrad. Beautiful man, I hear.
Great actor.
But he was canon. He was a big star, a big Quinn Martin star. And so he was not a man to be trifled with. So if you're writing a script for somebody to be with, and you go, I would like to, maybe a William Conrad vehicle might propel me. Yeah, you might not want to write. You might not want to title it "Jake and the Fat Man," and then send it to William Conrad because William Conrad's like, "What the? I'm pretty sure I'm not Jake." And if I'm Jake, I don't want to be on the show at all because then it's really gross. But
I love the way your mind
Norm
works.
Macdonald tonight at Cap City and tomorrow night. And
All these observations and more.
467-2333. Thanks for being here, dude.
Thanks a lot. Listen, God bless in the name of the Pale Nazarene. What? And hey, what about this, man? You know how you're.
It's like the Energizer Bunny. I love that.
This lady told me this thing. If you're a Christian, you're kind of reviled nowadays in today's society. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're looked at as a joke, kind of. Bill Maher makes fun of you. But let's say you're a lady and you believe in astrology, right? Then suddenly everything's fine. Nobody thinks you're an idiot.
We always run out of time, and I want you to tell. And you were a kid, right? This is the first time you got drunk.
When I got drunk, I was a very straight-laced kid,
How old were you when this happened?
I was 19 years old, and I decided to drink, And I was out with my buddies at a bar. My God, we started drinking. They had those shooters,
Mm-hmm.
Those are hard to take, You can't gauge them, And before you knew it, I was so crazily drunk, like just drunk out of my mind. And so then time passes in a weird way and everything. And my friends, they wanted to leave the bar.
Right.
Like, hey, let's go, right? And I'm like, ah! I got my crazy all of a sudden, right? So I'm like, why should I leave? We're having fun here at the bar. You guys leave if you want, right? So they go. And I'm making friends with everybody, man. There was a fat guy with a beard, and there was a jukebox. It was like a Western movie, you know what I mean? And there's a bartender. There's all kinds of ladies and everything like that. And everybody's my friend. Right? So I'm getting drunker and drunker with these shots, and they're all crazy, dirty sex name shots, like,
Oh, yeah.
Here, have a dirty sex, whatever. They make you order them to humiliate you.
Yeah.
You're a drunk loser. You're like, can you have sex with me? Just come on. So anyways, I get all drunk, and then I go into the bathroom, and a dude gives me some pills. He has some pills.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to ever mix pills with booze.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then any doctor...
They told you up at the Mayo Clinic?
Yeah. But this guy was not a doctor. He was just a guy I met in the bathroom.
Even worse than a GP.
He was worse than a GP. His name, though, was Dr. Midnight. But I found out he was not accredited.
Not really a doctor, no. Yeah.
So anyways, so I take these pills, and what they do is, they say that you're not supposed to mix them, but on the other hand, in one way it works. So I'm like so drunk now and having so much fun and everything. Hey, fat bearded guy, having an arm wrestle with him. I don't know how to arm wrestle. Then all of a sudden I'm playing pool. I go to shoot a thing of pool and I fall down right in all the pool balls. And then I just black out. What's called blacking out. Yeah. It's not passing out.
You black out.
You don't remember anything.
Oh, yeah.
I wake up, right? I'm in a bed, but it's not my bed, you know? And I look beside me. Who do I see? The fat bearded guy. So I go, holy Lord God, I had sex with the fat bearded guy. And at this point in my life, I was a young man. I had never had intercourse in my life.
Right.
And I'd always imagined it, but I never imagined it that way. You know?
I wouldn't think so, no.
I imagined a nice lady in a dress.
That's right. But there's got to be a first time for everybody.
It's not all gravy.
No.
So I look over and I go, oh my God. Then I notice we're in twin beds there. You know, we're not not in the same bed. Right. And I go, is this some kind of one of them old-fashioned gay guys?
I don't know.
There's no such thing.
No.
Gay guys are generally not old-fashioned. They're right on top of the latest thing. They're happy.
They're happy. Right on top of the latest thing.
Yeah,
that's right, Norm.
And they're so ahead of things, they have sex, and they don't even use a lady. So anyways... the upshot of the story is, what happens is I never had sex with this fat guy with a beard. This guy had checked me into a rehab. Because this guy was like a dirty drunk, and he took me for a dirty drunk too,
sure, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? He says, yeah, man, you know, I'll go here in rehab, man. It's good for both of us. And I'm like, yeah, God. So I had a big, like a robe on and fluffy slippers. They wouldn't give me my clothes, right?
Oh, how long were you in
They had
there?
a bag of my clothes somewhere. They wouldn't tell me where it was.
Would they let you out?
No, 3 days I had to stay.
3 days?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They made me go to what is called an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, right? And I get up, I go, hey, I'm not an alcoholic, which it turns out is what a lot of alcoholics...
They all say that, yeah.
I said, the fat bearded guy, there's the alcoholic right over there.
And how long did you guys date?
No!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Norm Macdonald. We'll be right back.
I wasn't going to talk about the coronavirus. But on the way here, I got really ill. But I think it was because I ate a cherry pie. Like, I got a cherry pie from Bristol Farms, and then I ate it, and then the car was going weird, and I was like, oh. And then he turned on the radio, Jeremy, and then all the fucking news was like, the guy was like, well, there's been so far 11 cases, 50, 200. I don't feel good, you know, you're like, oh. This is not good. I feel like I'm in a fucking middle of a Stephen King novel or something fucking like. What is this? So my plan is just to not die. You know, survive long enough where they find a cure. You know, some people will have to die. But finally they'll find a cure for me. And then I'll thank all those. It's funny how Big Pharma is so evil till now. It's like, what's it, $200 a pill? Yeah, that's good. That's fine. I'll take it. Give me all you got. But and now I'm sniffling, and I don't know what that is. Could be the cocaine, I guess. Get so nervous about this goddamn, and then so I take cocaine, you know, and then that makes the anxiety even more crippling. It's funny that we all now know how we're gonna die. It's just a matter of what order at this point. I went to the Costco and the fucking everybody trying to buy shit and everything, like the end of the world. And I'm like, anything? And they go, you gotta make yours. I'm like, I don't know how to make Purell. Oh, I can't touch my fucking face. Remember the good old days when washing your hands didn't take 3 hours? Like A, B, C, D. Just take me now. So the mind never wanders too far from, you know, like I'll be talking about all kinds of horse shit up here tonight, but every moment I'll be thinking of this disease. Just to let you know. Just getting away from you guys a little bit more. But it comes at a good time, this, where we're all quarantined, because we know how to live like that, right? We got our fucking magic phones and computers and everything. We don't need no fucking people. It was the last step between us and happiness anyway, were people. Got the TV and shit. Fucking more interesting people than anybody I know. Listen to fucking First Take and spend my last moments on Earth with Max Kellerman. Oh, God damn. I can taste the baby laxative in this fucking cocaine. Rolling down the back of my throat. God damn. But I'm old anyway, you know, so if I die, it won't be as much of a tragedy. I'm 68 years young, I like to say. Yeah. You get old and you start worrying anyway, you know. Forget the coronavirus, like that's possible. I said I wasn't going to mention it. I was talking to the manager. He's like, nobody wants to hear about the fucking coronavirus. They come here to not hear about the coronavirus. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But it was a good idea you made. It was a good choice tonight to come out and sit beside total strangers. At least I might be here. I can run, you know. At least I can flee when I see it. I don't want to alarm anybody at all, but I could sneeze on you. And it would be the equivalent of like a 9mm, you know. I'm gonna die. I don't know this medical fucking gobbledygook, you know, I can't understand it. I'm not a fucking doctor. But he said I'm more virus than host. Who knows what these guys mean?
With all their big words. Fuck, who knew it was going to end this way? I thought it was going to be a fucking big iceberg or something. Sounded fun for a while. It's like, oh, the oceans will rise in a big iceberg. Oh, goddamn. Not like your kid. Oh, fuck. Fucking shitting blood. I gotta phone 911. I got the coronavirus. Don't come here. Stay at home. You can't have bad thoughts. You know, you gotta have positive feelings because those don't work either. Turns out doctors now realize that thinking positively about something doesn't fucking help at all. Well, anyway. Because the deadly virus has no idea you feel real positive. They feel pretty positive too. And we don't have a cure for them. They obviously have a cure for us. Oh, I feel something. It's only the virus twisting around my brainstem. I think it's feel my brainstem a little liquefying. Oh well. Nobody said it'd be a rose garden, you know. But they actually did this live on when we were listening to the radio. They were talking about this South by Southwest, and they said, well, there's been a cancellation at South by Southwest. This band, oh, the whole thing's canceled. That's what the guy says. The guy hands him another thing. Ah! South by Southwest has been canceled, the entire thing. And the direction south. That's gone. Who knows, you know? I mean, who knows how you're going to die? I mean, we all know now. But think back a week ago. Think back a week ago. I loved back a week ago. Moving way too fast. But you gotta be prepared, you know what I mean, in this year life for any eventuality. And that means being prepared. I'm not talking about buy a can of corn. That's only cosmetic. I'm talking about having a whole room that's locked and filled with firearms. And you gotta be prepared, you know what I mean? Listen, I never thought I'd say this in my life, but I'd shoot my son in the fucking belly. If he had a sneeze or any of that shit. I mean, he's a great kid, I love him, but he's never been on the TV, you know? What are those commercials where the guy just tells you stuff you already know? Like there's this one with William Devane, and he goes, you like gold? And you're like, yes, of course. You should buy a big bar of gold and put it in your safe. You go, well, I wish I could. That'd be very nice. Do you know gold's always been valuable? Yes, I know everything you're telling me. Daffy Duck told me that when I was a little kid. I know all about how gold is valuable. There's one that I don't understand, but it's called reverse mortgage. I've never heard of one of these fucking things. And it has a guy on it, and he goes, I'm a guy. And I want to tell you about reverse mortgages. You've probably never heard of them, but you all know what a mortgage is. That's when you and your loved one, you get together a grub stake, you know, a little bit of money, and by God, you put it down on a piece of land or a house, you know? And then every month you pay what's called a mortgage, you know, which is some money to the bank. And then 20 years pass or 30, and you have a big party with your friends, and all your kith and kin come, and you burn the mortgage, and by God, you own a piece of the American dream. Anyways, this is the complete opposite. So,
we'd be glad to send you some brochures. It's a picture of you with no shelter. You know, I'm trying to be a better person. I don't know if you're religious or not. I'm sort of half religious, half not. I try to obey the commandments. And it's funny that some of the commandments are very easy to obey, and some are very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, thou shalt not kill. Well, that's pretty easy to obey that, you know? But then there's other ones that are really hard to obey. Like there's one that says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's ox. And now, I have this old scraggly fucking ox. I bought him used. That was my first mistake. And the guy that sold it to me didn't tell me about all the fucking diseases this thing has. So he fucking wandered around. He can't pull anything. And he has a big thing around his neck like a bell, and that caused neck problems, so I have to take that off. And then I walk past my neighbor's house, and I look in his garage, and here stands the most beautiful, like blue-gray Belgian ox that I've ever laid eyes upon. And he's brushing his lustrous... And I'm not supposed to covet it. Thou shalt not bear false witness. That's a tough one. But it's good, you know, not to lie. But it's very, very hard, you know, not lying. Because you want people to like you, and you know what I mean? Want to... all kinds of reasons to lie. I thought of a way of not lying, and I'll share it with you if you like. You can tell the truth, word for word, absolutely true. But when you do it, you use a sarcastic accent. So I'll give you an example. Like your wife goes, hey, I noticed at dinner you were looking at my sister. You're not attracted to my sister, are you? And then you go, oh, yes. I forgot to tell you, I'm attracted to your sister. She's like, all right, Henry, never mind. You go, no, why? It's true. I want to fuck her. Hey, the only reason I married you was to fuck your sister, right? She's like, nah, I shouldn't have brought it up. No, why wouldn't you bring it up? I mean, you're the victim of this whole thing. I remember at the vows, I kept thinking, I am going to seduce every member of my wife's family. Regardless of gender, I'm gonna fuck all of them. Then afterwards, I'm gonna invite them over to the house and set it on fire, killing them all. And then I'm gonna move on to the next town where I do it again. It's like, all right, Henry, we don't need to hear. You don't have to be like this. Why? Why? What? You're the good person in this scenario. I'm the guy that goes from town to town, fucking and murdering entire families, and leaving conflagrations of ashes that used to be human beings. I'm the most savage and prolific serial killer that ever was, and I've just never been found out yet, that's all. You know, just go to sleep. Yeah, I'll go to sleep. Or maybe I'll buy kerosene all night. So, that's just an example. You don't have to do that one. Just saying, that's all. But listen, there's important things going on in the world. It's raining in the forests. And I don't want to get too political with you, but it's a true fact. Now, I know science, and I would not be surprised at all if, like, 10 years from now, scientists went, God damn, it's good we burned down that motherfucking rainforest. Turned out that's where all the spiders and snakes lived and shit. That's what started that snake flu that nearly took everybody out. Nobody knows nothing. But you know, you're supposed to crunch up cans, and I think it's a good thing. You know, you got the orange and then the green, there's blue, and you crunch the cans and you put that, and you should do that. I'm not doing it, but you guys should do it because it's important, you know? It's always supposed to be for the people from the future. That's how they try to trick you, you know? They always go, the children are the future, which is true, but they said that when I was a child. Then I grew up, I was like, here I am, and they're like, now it's the other kids. I go, you fucker. I had a feeling there was something here. I know a Ponzi scheme when I see one. Now it's the other children. Listen, this has all been wonderful, but I will tell you this. Nothing I've said really is of substance. I find, and it's not just me, I find like most of my act is just, you know, gossip and trickery. You know what I mean? Like some cheap magician, you know? So I'll tell you the only thing I know for a fact, and it's something that we all know. Everybody knows it, but it's harder to act on it than it is. But the only really true thing is that we all must love each other. And it's very difficult, you know? It's very, very hard. Hey, what about this? A dog loves people. You think it's hard to love people. A dog loves like a dog, like my dog, right? I've never seen such no judgment. Like my dog, all he does is love me. When I wake up, I think he watches me sleeping. Because when I wake up, he's right there, and he's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. He jumps up. He's licking my face, and he's like, I love you more than anything. You're the greatest. And I go, thanks, Tater. You're cool, too. I love you. I love you more than anything. I go, I love you, too. Remember yesterday when you threw that bone and it turned out to be a rubber bone? I was like, yeah, it's a joke. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, right? He goes, that wasn't. I was laughing. It was funny. You love me so much. And I love you. This is the greatest thing. I'm just going to kiss you and kiss you and kiss you forever. I go, yes, you can do that. I'm going to just keep kissing you. And I go, okay, get the fuck away from me, all right? Just leave me alone, would ya? I got to write shit into a magic phone and stuff. I got no time for this. Fucking dog stuff. And then my dog goes, you're right. I find you, and I love you, but I just push too hard. I push and I push and I push and I push you away. I'm no good. I'm no damn good. But what say I just stood here and stared at you completely quietly, until finally you looked at me again with some look of love, and then I'd jump up and love you again. You go, yes, that would be fine. Do that. They don't judge dogs. We judge, all our love comes with caveats, There's no such thing as unconditional love with human beings. But dogs, they don't care. They love. Hitler had a dog. Now you think of that. I'm no fan of Hitler. I never liked him. I didn't like him before it was cool not to like him. But there was a dog in history who loved Hitler more than anyone. He would wake up in the morning, go, where's Hitler? And Goering or something would go like, he's not here, he's doing some evil stuff. I've explained to you, he spends most of his time doing evil stuff. You can't see him that often. He goes, okay, I know. I'm not trying to, listen, Goering, I love you. I love Mengele, I love everybody. All of you guys are the greatest. But it's just Hitler is the greatest man who's ever lived. This is why we ask that you don't use recording devices. I don't want to be with fucking Harvey Levin tomorrow or something. Did you say Hitler was the great? And what would be my fucking answer? I go, no, it was a dog. That wouldn't work. I'd be fucked. But I'll be goddamned if I'm going to end a special talking about Hitler. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And a special, I'm going to call my special Hitler's Dog.
An African American accent?
Try, yeah.
Okay. We'll give you an African American. An African American.
Your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap!
I'm so proud of myself today. I'm so proud of myself. You know what?
All right, y'all. Norm Macdonald. Now, if you've been on the channel for some years, it's probably been 3-4 years since we've seen Norm Macdonald. I did a few Norm Macdonald reactions, so I kind of understand, his comedy style. He's going to deadpan in as well, kind of like Mitch Hedberg. But the thing about Norm is he'll go into context more. He'll tell a story. So Norm is hilarious. I'm informed, guys. I know Norm is hilarious. Don't think this is my first Norm video. I'm getting into this, warming back up to Norm. Honestly, I'm doing this video because I don't know which full special to do. And I'm testing the waters here just to throw out a short form video so you guys can let me know what is the best special to do of Norm Macdonald. I have no clue. I've been trying to do the right specials. So asking you guys has been helping so much. Whatever you guys say in the comments, I put it out and everybody seems to, it resonates well. So I guess that's what I'm going to do here. So let me know a good Norm Macdonald stand-up and we'll go from there. All that being said, on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have Norm Macdonald Risky Black Jokes. Norm, where we going with this? Where we going with this, man? Let's find out.
130 years after the Civil War, the state of Mississippi has finally voted to abolish slavery. Representatives say they would have liked to have done it sooner, but they were delayed due to some awfully big cotton crops. They had some kind of big cotton thing. All right.
Norm.
In Colorado this week, Bob Dole warned that if Pat Buchanan is the Republican nominee, the party might lose both the presidency and control of Congress. In response, Buchanan warned that if anyone other than himself becomes president, blacks will retain the right to vote.
That's cold,
Last
bro.
night, the epic disaster film Twister opened to big box office and some controversy. The Reverend Jesse Jackson has called for a boycott of the movie, claiming that not enough black people in the film are killed by tornadoes. Meanwhile, Furman, who was expected to face disciplinary action by the LAPD, may get off lightly. Under the terms of a controversial plea bargain, the charges against him have been reduced to, quote, 1 count of using the word darky.
Hey, Norm, bruh. Ease up. Ease up on the gas pedal a little bit. How do we have so many of these in our arsenal? Norm's just sitting there, just that's a good black joke right there. That's real risky. Can't wait to show them that one. Blackie or Darky. Hey, Darky. Oh, I'd be pissed if someone called me that, honestly. Darky? Oh my gosh. That's an insane name, dude. Hey, Darky, like.
Darky. In the wake of the verdict, angry Menendez defense attorney Leslie Abramson said the jury simply chose not to believe the brothers' excuse that they had been sexually abused by their father, and says she knows why. Quote, "It's because my clients are black." President Clinton was in Austin, Texas last Monday, the day of the Million Man March. The president said in a speech, "I'm here to speak to you today because right now in Washington, D.C., there's like 1 million black guys." In Nashua, New Hampshire this week, a high school student, Chris Connolly, while attempting to dunk a basketball, lost his balance, crashed down on the rim, and shattered 2 front teeth. Gee, I wonder if by some crazy chance Chris is white.
Black guy would have dunked that easy.
This week, as America marked the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's entry into Major League Baseball, there was a sobering reminder that racial prejudice in sports is not yet a thing of the past. In a shocking move, today, all but one of the 125 playing members of the Professional Golf Association has signed a petition to ban African-American golfers from the tour.
Get Tiger Woods out of here.
And now a correction to a story we ran last...
No, was that true, guys? Even though I'm laughing, but is that... I don't know if that was... if it's truth behind that joke. You know what they say about jokes. Every joke is some truth behind it. Did they really try to get Tiger up out of here? I'm not being that guy to, you know... It's not a lot of us in golf. I guess that's why they laughed at me when they caught me for golf. Black dude playing golf. I was pretty good, though, guys. I'm telling you, honestly, I was good. I don't know if they would let me in. I'm not thinking like that, but it's just you don't see, you know, Brown on the course like that. Vijay Singh, I think that's his name. He's one of them. I might have messed his name up. Tiger Woods, yeah. Tiger's son is pretty good. If you guys seen Tiger Woods' son, he's pretty decent. But I was watching George Carlin, and it's something about golf. These comedians, man, they break down sort of like the same subject. It's basic. I think these comedians try to inform us in a way, but they make us laugh behind it, you know, to make the higher ups at ease. Watching George Carlin talk about only blacks you see in the PGA, they're holding trays.
And now a correction to a story we ran last week. Prince Charles is actually the one in the middle. So we apologize for that.
I don't know why black is black.
Black is great.
Black is great.
Black is fantastic. Right? Yeah, I mean,
black is fantastic.
Even though, you know, they're not black anymore. But then again, we're not white. right?
Right.
Right, right.
Pink like his fucking asshole. We're all,
Seen it.
we're all the color of Bobby's asshole deep down.
This is an older Norm. It went from the younger Norm to the older
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Roseanne hired me as a I was doing stand-up, and Roseanne said, "Would you like to be on the show and act? You can be Lori's boyfriend." I said, "I can't act." I should have said I could act. Yeah. So anyway, she said, "Well, why don't you be a writer?" But one time in the writing room, she would give jobs to crazy guys sometimes, and she gave a job to African American. I don't know what you call them. I call them African American.
What do you know what he calls them?
That's those two words that I never heard in the state of Texas, you know. That's a joke, son. Told me. And we're saying African American, and when you say that, it feels uncomfortable, right? To your tongue? No.
What are you supposed to say?
Well,
just tell me what you're supposed to say.
Darky.
Well, I definitely would not say the A word.
Right.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
The A-A word.
Yeah.
African American. Can you do an African American accent?
Try, yeah.
Okay. We'll give you an African American. An African American.
Your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap!
Oh, that was horrible.
Hey, George,
What's going on here? What show is this? VPN Norm Live. I'm gonna have to check this out. They're doing black scents on there. He said, "Little mama had type 2 diabetes. Sure enough did. She sure enough had type 2 diabetes. Sure thing. That's tight. What the? Hey, they cold-blooded. This said, screw black face. Let's do black voice.
Do an African American accent?
Try, yeah.
Okay. We'll give you an African American. An African American.
your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap! Hey, George, my mother is so fat when she came to Vegas they had to build another hotel.
Guy goes, "You got the do-rag." He goes, "I'm fucking my woman, and I don't want to answer the phone. Oh, shit, it could be a job."
Hey, guys.
And then, after you take the do-rag, you wipe off your dick with the do-rag. And I'm like, "No, I don't do that." But everyone in the audience is like, "Yeah, we all do that. We all wipe our dicks off."
Bro,
You know
this is crazy.
the Harlem Shake?
I've seen it on every single commercial.
You've seen it. Then you'll appreciate this joke. I remember back when the Harlem Shake was just a black fella holding me upside down off a fire escape trying to collect his money. Orange is the new black. But not in my apartment building. Kevin is the new black.
Presidential fact. Barack Obama is the first.
Oh, gosh, this stuff is cold, man. Hey, Norm, where are you getting these jokes, bruh? He said, "Not in my apartment building. Kevin is the new black." Kevin's the only black guy in my apartment building, and the property value dropped as soon as he got here. We're currently trying to get Kevin out of here. Kevin! Dude, Norm is cold with it.
Presidential fact. Barack Obama is the first president to ever say the N-word as a term of endearment.
That's not Washington used that.
No, I don't think it was a term of endearment.
No,
Today is the 11th birthday of President Obama's youngest daughter, Sasha, or as I like to call her, the uppity one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm a regular Mozart.
Dude, Norm had legends on his show.
Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville.
Start again.
All right.
Kids today, I mean...
You can't spell ABC.
Wow. Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville. With this and her appearance on iCarly, I think Michelle is ready to start appearing in films. May I suggest my favorite film series, Black Ass Fuckers?
All right.
I found the secret to life is there is no problem that a huge...
What?
No, I found the secret to life, Bob, and this is it. There is no problem big enough that a huge...
To get it out, Norm.
That a huge what?
No, I found the secret. I found out the secret to life.
Yes, oh great one.
Yes, and it is this: there is no problem big enough that a huge black cock cannot fix.
Dr. Dre announced that he's the first hip-hop billionaire, a regular J. Paul Ghetto.
Two businessmen bought the Milwaukee Bucks for $550 million. They are very excited with their purchase, as this is the only legal way to own black people.
Now that is here, and I read that.
Well, you're not there. You know how businessmen are racist?
They are.
Yes, it's them being racist.
They are.
You.
The two businessmen that bought the Milwaukee Bucks for $550 million
Yeah.
are racist,
Oh,
according
no, they're
to this.
fine, man. Well, here's actually a joke about Donald Sterling.
Okay. All the charities that Donald Sterling donated millions of dollars to are giving the money back to him. Well, that'll show him. It's not bad.
Never
Everybody came to Norm's show. Norm must be a cool ass dude in order to get everyone to come to his show like this. I'm not naming everyone, guys. I don't want to screw names up, but I know who's there. I've seen these faces. This dude everyone must fuck with him in Hollywood. Because these type of, David Spade is not going to just show up on anybody's show. That's crazy.
Back to him. Well, that'll show.
Let me hear this joke again. I was just shocked Spade was there. Hold on.
Well, here's actually a joke about Donald Sterling.
Okay. All the charities that Donald Sterling donated millions of dollars to are giving the money back to him. Well, that'll show him. It's not bad.
Never trust a black guy wearing a Dirk Nowitzki jersey.
Why?
In Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Mavericks and the Thunder, Magic Johnson said that Dirk Nowitzki is playing like he has 3 legs, which is a nice way of saying he's playing like a black guy. Show Oklahoma City second-round NBA playoffs. Great dunk from Westbrook, though I'd be more impressed if he weren't young and black. Moscow Roy Jones Jr. is down. Boring. If I wanted to see an old black guy get punched in the face, I'd look out my window. Eastern Conference Final in Miami, and LeBron crushes Kyle Korver in transition. Always shocking when a black guy running forward is faster than a white guy running back.
Usually I pick the bigger, blacker guy.
President Obama is a phenomenal player at basketball for a president of the United States. But I think he's just mediocre for a black guy. Hey, what about bringing...
Norm, how long can you go without saying black? Let's see. Black guy. That didn't take long. Norm. Hey, Norm. All right, Norm. We get it. Black guys are fast and athletic. They like to dunk. We get it, Norm.
President of the United States. But I think he's just mediocre for a black guy. Hey, what about bringing in Jackie Robinson? Only team with a black guy on it. That's not cheating?
I consider cheating.
That's cheating. Last week, Indiana Pacer Danny Granger called Joakim Noah of the Chicago Bulls a coward. Now, where I come from, those are fighting words. But I have no idea how the black community views them.
They're fighting words.
Middleweight boxer Bernard Hopkins has caused a stir by implying that Donovan McNabb is not black enough. The two men have decided to settle their differences with an old-fashioned game of who cannot catch a cab.
Everybody's bringing up these licenses for illegals and that they need to have them. And my question is, where are they getting the license plates? Obviously, we're letting them register vehicles without licenses. And in this day of car bombs and stuff, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Thank you, Dan from Boise. Norm, what's your feeling?
Well, I know that the New York Governor Spitzer, I'm trying to get to learn things, but he doesn't want to issue licenses to illegal immigrants, you know, and I don't know how the hell you're going to get a cab in New York City anymore. I mean, it's hard enough, you know, for me especially, as a black man.
No. All the immigrants are driving taxis in New York. He get rid of the immigrants, we won't have a way to get a taxi, especially as a black man. You know what? I never tried to get a taxi in New York. They were driving past me pretty fast when I went to New York. The taxis were flying by me. Black guy. They don't tip. God, we have to start tipping. I don't know if it's more. Okay, it looks like it's more. It just looks like some merch right here. Let's see. Oh, it's another joke. Anyone have any Norm Macdonald merch?
Have you heard about this Huckleberry Finn thing?
Here we go.
I heard something about they wanted to take the N-word out, right?
Yeah, anyways, I wanted to bring it up before I forgot, and then we'll get on to my projects.
All right. Do you have any observation on it, any tweak on it, or just the cognizance of the fact that they want to...
No, I feel it's a thorny issue.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't the whole thing.
Norm,
I thought you were going to go like, well, how so, or something.
Tell us more, Norm. Why don't you
I feel it's a thorny issue.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
too. Why, Norm?
Well, you got Mark Twain, you know, and you're talking about, I mean, for those of you who don't know, you know, what I'm talking about, they've taken out the N-word, you know, out of many of the books of Huckleberry Finn.
Norm, they've taken out.
And so you got a thorny issue that I think I have a solution to.
What's the solution, Norm?
Do you want to hear it?
No,
Yeah, what is it, dude? I'm scared.
Never anything more.
Well, the thorny issue is this.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to take, you know, Mark Twain, you know, one of the greatest writer ever to brush paper with ink, you know, and change his words, for God's sake. On the other side of the coin, you don't want to have a young African American boy in school, you know, hearing that word out loud and causing him pain. So it's a thorny issue. But I figure it this way. You've read Huckleberry Finn.
You are so splendidly demented. Yeah, I've read it.
You know it's written in the first person by Huckleberry Finn.
It's the first person.
Yes, I do.
And you know it includes the N-word.
Yes.
Therefore, you just change Huckleberry Finn to a black kid.
And everything's it's like a rap song at that point, right?
Exactly. Everything's cool.
So we just, okay, guys, Huckleberry, let me get hip to him real quick. Huckleberry Finn, that's one, I'm not hip. Huckleberry, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It's the N-word in this book? This dude look like Luffy. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, a classic American novel by Mark Twain. Never heard of it, guys, or read it. Followed the journey of a teenage misfit, Huck Finn, and an escaped slave, Jim. Jim Crow. Why was it the slave named Jim? Jim down the Mississippi River on the raft. Wow. So that joke makes so much more sense now. If we change this guy to a black guy, it ultimately becomes a rap song. I wonder how the book go. Huckleberry walking through the streets with my niggas. Nigga this, nigga, and we nigga that a nigga. I saw a nigga pulled up on my niggas, and then we said, what up, nigga? And everybody said, nigga. I don't know. I don't got to read the Huckleberry. Something in there, though, the N-word. Norm Macdonald. is splendidly demented. I am so glad that they said the perfect words for me to describe him. I don't even know what to say. You know, I'm going to go look in the mirror real quick, do some self-evaluation. You know, I'm just messing around. Norm Macdonald is foul, dude. We're gonna leave that at that. I'm gonna keep this outro rather short because it can be risky if I go off into any other ventures. But with a full Norm Macdonald that we could check out, any full stand-ups we could check out, put in the comments. How many times does he say black guy in a stand-up? Us black guys would like to know. I wish I was one of the, you know, athletic football playing black guys. I'm strong and all, but I was one of the different black guys, the golf playing black guy, wrestling. I played the different sports. Tennis. About to go play some basketball, see if I can dunk. I gotta go find me the nearest white guy. I'll be back.
Potential jurors for the O.J. Simpson case were asked to fill out a 75-page jury questionnaire this week. In the entire state of California, only one person got a perfect score. Chow Ming Wu, who after the trial plans to attend Caltech. By the way, you can now purchase a bronze statue of the Juice for only $3,395. And for an even $5,000, you can buy one that Al Cowlings has kissed the ass of. O.J. Simpson's new fitness video was released this week, and hitting the shelves next week, Simpson's newest video, Dorf on Stocking. The crowd is torn. According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses, or trait. And the Pope came out with a book this week, which contains a series of essays examining faith and morality in today's secular world, and the changing role of the Catholic Church as it approaches the 21st century. The book is entitled, God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty. In other book news, Prince Charles released an autobiography in which he states that he never loved Princess Di and that his father pressured him to marry her. The book is entitled, Of Course O.J. Did It. I mean, come on. In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably... You don't get worse luck than that. And O.J. announced this week that he's coming out with a new book called I Want to Tell You. And if it's successful, O.J. will work on yet another book entitled From Football to Prison, My 25 Years of Showering with Other Men. And finally, in honor of the 50th anniversary of their first publication, Random House will be releasing special commemorative issues of many Dr. Seuss classics. The first to hit the bookshelves will be Green Eggs and Ham and O.J. is Guilty. Judge Ito was interviewed this week by a local TV station in Los Angeles. Asked by the interviewer if it was appropriate for a supposedly impartial judge to be on TV with his case still pending, Ito said, maybe not, but how appropriate is it to kill your ex-wife? It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him.
O.J. Simpson's lawyers have decided to skip hearings on DNA evidence and go right to trial. Asked why they did this, the lawyers replied, "We want to get O.J. acquitted as speedily as possible so he can get back to doing what he does best, killing people." Well, let's get to O.J. O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, sleepy truckers are responsible for 1,000 deaths a year. In second place, O.J. Simpson at 2 deaths a year. It was revealed this week that defense lawyer Johnny Cochran once abused his first wife. In his defense, Cochran said, "Hey, at least I didn't kill her like some people I know." Tomorrow, Judge Lancito will take O.J. and the jury on a tour of the now famous crime scene. For the jury, it will be their first look at the actual location. Of course, for O.J., it will be just a case of been there, done that. Judge Lancito was happy with the jurors' field trip to the crime scene last week. It went off without a hitch, said Ito. Not one murder. O.J.'s pal Al Cowlings now has a 1-900 number. For $2.99 a minute, Cowlings will tell callers that O.J. is innocent. And for $3.99 a minute, he'll try to do it without laughing. And this week, Simpson defense lawyers questioned witnesses about a half-melted container of ice cream found at the murder site. The Simpson defense has seized upon the ice cream for 2 reasons. 1, it may help fix the time of the murders, and 2, it was the only thing in the murder scene without any of... F. Lee Bailey said this week that if the defense only knew what Ron Goldman's last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, "Hey, you're O.J. Simpson." Oh no, O.J. has struck again. How about that? Not a good thing. And in court this week, Cato Kalin testified that O.J. Simpson did not appear angry before or after the period of his wife's murder. But Kalin admitted he could have been a touch edgy while he was actually murdering her. Might have been a... Hertz Rental Car Company announced this week that it will buy 520,000 vehicles, increasing its worldwide fleet 24%. In addition, they will try to find a new spokesman who won't kill his ex-wife. This week at the O.J. Simpson trial, the infamous bloody glove was finally introduced into evidence, and O.J. didn't help his case any by blurting out, "There it is, I've been looking all over for that thing." And a new shocker in the O.J. Simpson trial. This afternoon, Judge Lancito dismissed yet another juror, a 45-year-old African-American male, for failing to tell the court that he had once worked for Hertz Rent-A-Car and that he had once held Nicole Brown Simpson's glasses while O.J. killed her. Dismissed Simpson juror Jeanette Harris revealed in interviews this week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into 2 camps, those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. A bad week for the prosecution of the O.J. Simpson trial. Under intense cross-examination by defense lawyer Barry Scheck, LAPD crime expert Dennis Fung admitted that he may have contaminated the crime scene when he accidentally dropped a big bucket full of O.J.'s DNA. Our top story tonight, this week in the O.J. Simpson trial. After grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, O.J. turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again. Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time. Remember 12 Angry Men, the classic courtroom drama? Well, the first film about the O.J. Simpson case is in the works. It's entitled 9 Angry Black People, 2 Scared Asians, and a White Guy Who Hasn't Spoken Since Rosa Lopez. Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat. Well, the trial of the century is over. Late yesterday, the fate of O.J. Simpson, the most famous murder suspect in United States history, was placed in the hands of the jurors. They must now decide whether to free him or get all their heads cut off.
Thanks for nothing, Google.
What I wanted to show you is how easy it is to watch yourself and other live streams on your tablet device.
On the computer.
On the computer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit play there.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
right
I
there
see.
in my...
It's so simple.
Do you see your face?
Oh yeah, it's me with a huge fat fucking face.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of trouble. My doctor, he said he's not a very nice guy. He said, open your mouth and say oink.
Yeah, you need to get better insurance, Norm.
Insurance? He was calling me a fat pig.
Well, I mean, nobody's going to disagree with him.
Oh, chasm.
I'm sorry, Norm. I've got an acid tongue.
You do. You're an acid-tongued Arab. And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off.
Yeah.
I love Lost. You ever watch Lost?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the show. Yeah, yeah. I'm still watching it.
I watch it. I watch it on the
link.
No, yeah.
You got that working?
On the computer, where you can watch like you can watch them right after each other. So you don't have. There's no cliffhanger, you know.
Yeah,
you
I know about that.
You probably watched it a lot. 6.
Do you think I'm 80?
No, you probably watched the show though.
I did. I watched it during.
So that must have been incredibly frustrating.
No, it wasn't. Why would you say that?
Well, because I couldn't wait 30 seconds to get into it on my DVD.
Sometimes it's better to space things out, though, and discuss it with your friends, have a little talk about what happened, and then you have to wait a week, and it's delayed gratification.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. That's what's fun about a book club.
We're joined by the talented trio called the Lonely Island.
Yeah,
who
you know
will be
what I
on the
call
big.
them?
What do you call them?
I call them Sandberg and the other couple of fellows.
The Mind Squad
The
is
other
how Rolling Stone put it.
I got a heavy foot.
There's a real stream of consciousness thing happening here, Norm.
Yeah, it's called conversation.
All right.
Are you talking about Melrose Place? No, because
You're the biggest ass I ever met. I love you for it.
No, because I swear to God, and when I lived in L.A., I lived on the actual street called Melrose Place. There's an actual street.
There's a Melrose. Is there really a Melrose
There's really
place?
a Melrose Place.
Okay,
You
all
know
right.
this, right?
Yes, it's true.
So
they opened a restaurant called Melrose Place on it,
Uh-huh.
and then it's right beside my house, and every time I go out, there's all these retards, like tourists, and then these tourist retards, like they're always fat and they're taking pictures, standing in front of this restaurant.
Uh-huh. Yeah? You are making a movie with Carrot Top, right?
I made a movie with Carrot Top.
Okay. You made a movie with Carrot Top. It's not out yet.
No, it's
Can you
not
put the
out yet.
picture up of Carrot Top again, just so we can all see him?
She just did.
Oh, there it is again. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Wait a minute, she left Melrose Place to do a movie with Carrot Top?
That's where I'm going, my friend.
He was great. He did a wonderful job.
Do you have a scene where you and him embrace?
Yeah, lots of making out.
Oh, for God's sake.
Nothing but making out.
All right.
It's like 9.5 weeks, but Carrot Top. we were doing.
Wow! I gotta check out that movie.
Is it called 9.5 Seconds?
But what's the movie gonna be called?
Well,
Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
She's in it.
What about my career?
Courtney Thorne Smith. Well, there's this 2-hour season finale of Melrose Place. There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
That's the very
I will
best
say,
kind.
in all sincerity, I know you don't like to hear these things. Emotions, you're like Nixon and
I'm like Nixon.
But I will say,
I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, you know, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... This is Viagra. It's insane. Now, you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right,
Yeah.
it's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is, you know... Of course, that's the big story in here in Washington is the recent marriage between NBC's Andrea Mitchell and Alan Greenspan, who is 71 years old. And this is sweet, you know, I didn't know this. They wrote their own vows, you know. She promised to love, honor, and speak into his good ear. So that was... It's kind of sweet, you know?
We'll see. It'll be fun.
Hey,
Norm, thanks for dressing up.
hey, Sarah, listen, man. Congratulations, that's the 100th time that joke's been done tonight. But I also want to tell you, I do like that he picked Kemp. I like Kemp.
Oh, yeah?
He had a strange thing. Did you hear that quote he said? He said he's closer to minorities than the other candidates because he says he showered with a lot of black guys. Did you hear that?
What?
He says because he used to be on the Buffalo Bills.
That's right, he was a football player. Is that true? He said that?
Yeah, he said that the other day. He said he has a closer feel for the minorities because he's showered with so many black guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't know if that's, well, how you want to pick your presidents, right? Showered with a lot of black guys?
I don't know.
I mean...
You're picking Dole because he can do an impression.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, your reasons aren't much better.
If I was going to pick a guy just because he's showered with a lot of black guys, I'd pick Andy or something like that, you know? You know?
People don't have to know that.
Oh, I have an announcement to read. I almost forgot. I was told to make this announcement. Table 10, wherever you are, table 10. We're sorry your waitress hasn't been there in a while. Larry King just married her. So... So, do you have a hero?
Norman Fell from Three's Company.
That's your hero?
Yeah. Mr. Roper. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Roper?
Yeah.
That's not a good hero.
That's all I got.
Better than this guy's hero is some gay porn actor. Anyway.
What are you talking about? What?
I don't know. Boomer Esiason is with us. Boomer. How you doing, buddy? Boomer, of course, will replace Frank Gifford on Monday Night Football next season. And Frank told reporters that this will allow him to spend more time with his wife and children. Then he broke down and cried for 45 minutes. So, what the hell am I? And here I am, you know, I look out, I see President Bill Clinton, you know, I see Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, you know, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, you know, broadcast legend Larry King, you know, pornographer Larry Flint, you know, Dick Morris. The list is starting to drop off a little, folks, but still, you get the idea. It's daunting. Well, there's all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight. I see Tiger Woods right there. Tiger Woods, how about that, huh? Yeah, he's up for golf. Of course, he's up for Golfer of the Year this ESPYs. And you know who I feel sorry for, folks, is the other two guys nominated for Golfer of the Year. You see these guys getting ready, you know, it's like, hey, honey, have you seen my tuxedo? No, not the good one. The one I wear when I'm going to get my ass kicked. Have you seen that one? We got a lot of power here, a lot of juice. Mr. Rule Arledge is here, of course, the chairman of ABC News, you know, and a lot of crazy stories coming out of that division, you know. You know, stories about this person sleeping with that person and all that, you know. Scandal after scandal. If you heard the latest, I heard this just the other day. There's a rumor that last week, a certain, I don't want to say who it is, a certain gentleman in ABC News, he went to a party and he got really drunk and he ended up having sex with his own wife. I don't know.
Well, I can tell a joke.
Go for it.
Yeah,
This
please
is
do,
what we're looking
please.
for.
Yeah.
There was a little boy in school named Dirty Johnny. Now, he's not dirty in this joke, but he'd always said, be a hellion in class, and the teacher didn't think much of him. So the teacher has a project, or not a project, but an in-class thing. How'd that go again? She says, now, this is what you're going to do here, class. I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up and tell the class what a story from your life. And then afterwards say the moral to that story. So a girl puts up her hand. Yes, Becky, what's your story? So Becky stands up. She goes, my dad works for the hatchery here in town. And what happens was he got about 15 eggs. And he put them all in one basket, all in the same basket. So he put all his eggs in one basket. And he put it on the horse and buggy and drove back home. And by God, Becky says, the bouncing and all the eggs broke. Well, that's a good story, the teacher says, but what would the moral be to that? Becky says, well, the moral is, don't put all your eggs into one basket. But goddamn, says the teacher, that's a good one. Anybody else? Marjorie puts up her hand. Marjorie, what's your story? She says, well, my dad worked for the hatchery, as most, all of us. Thank God for the hatchery. She says, or we'd all be lost. But anyways, my dad knows that eggs become chickens. And so he was counting his chickens, and he added in the eggs, you see. And then he put them on a horse and buggy to go to town, and they all broke. Well, what's the lesson to that? The teacher says she can't understand. And she says, well, don't count your chickens before they hatch out of an egg. So the teacher says, that's a great one, too. Anybody else? Well, wouldn't you know, Dirty Johnny has his hand up. So the teacher's like, holy God, I don't want it. But on the other hand, I made an oath to every child, should I suppose I gotta. All right, Dirty Johnny, what do you have to say? Johnny stands up. Stories about my Uncle Terry. He never worked at the hatchery. On account he was in Vietnam, and he got disability. He don't even like people work at the hatchery. But the story happened far from these shores, in a little town called Da Nang. Terry was not well liked. His whole troop left him, abandoned. And he woke up in the weeds, and all they left him with was 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, some weapons. Terry stood up and downed 1 bottle right away. Said, if I'm going out, I'm going out. He took his Balishnikov and a couple of Glocks and his 2 bottles, and away he went. He found a town. And he didn't know if it was Charlie or if it was one he was sent to protect. But all he knew was he had hate in his gut. So he started firing. And he fired the Kalashnikov with an arcing kind of, like a farmer would with hay, with a scythe. And sure enough, the men fell like hay before him. And then the women, and by God, I'm ashamed to say it, but then the children. And finally, all was left was Uncle Terry standing in the mud and the blood and the glory. And he touched his pants, and it was wet, and he said he was ashamed. He felt shame, Uncle Terry, for he'd pissed himself. Well, he touched it again. It was not urine at all, but ejaculate. And Uncle Terry felt pride where shame once was. And the teacher's like, good Christ, what kind of a story is that? What the hell is the moral to that? Oh, well, he says, when Uncle Terry's been drinking, you don't fuck with him.
You're so aware of others' feelings that
What the hell are you doing?
I know he's gonna slam me when he says some shit like that.
There he is, Bob Dole. Wow, look at that. Holy mackerel. Oh, man. What an honor to see you, sir.
Thank you. Good. Got my casual look on here. How do you like it? Wearing a good suit?
You look fantastic, Mr. Dole. And you don't look a day over 85 in person, I got to tell you. You look great.
And it is. Tell you something. I've traveled all around this country and I've met the people of America, and I learned one thing about them.
What is that?
I don't like them.
They're not great people.
They're damn fools, most of them.
What about your age? I mean, you're older than everyone. Isn't that true?
Age will not be a factor in this election. I'll let you know that right now, Howard Stern.
Age will not be a factor in this election.
Well, unless I die.
Right, okay.
Won't be a factor.
Of course, this is the great Norm Macdonald from Saturday Night Live, who does Bob Dole so well. And he's fully made up as Bob Dole.
I can't do impressions.
No, man, I love you.
I can do him, and I can do Ed Sullivan.
Let me see that.
It's Ed Sullivan teaching a class.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is Ed Sullivan,
all right.
But he's teaching a grade 4 class.
All right,
okay?
go ahead.
It's okay, class. Today we have I can't do the voice.
Right. Go ahead.
But
It's
all right, go ahead. Okay, class. Today we have a really big quiz.
That's good. That is really good. the famous Jeopardy bit.
Yes, Jeopardy sketch.
Where you play
yes,
Burt
yes,
Reynolds.
yes, yes.
That thing was one of the most popular sketches, and you pitched the Jeopardy thing.
The reason I really did it is I wanted to do Burt Reynolds. Now, Lorne Michaels, when it came time to do the sketch, I went down and I saw my wardrobe, and there was a white beard and a bald white cap, and I went, no, I wanted to do Burt Reynolds from 1972.
Right.
And it's funny to me but no one ever mentioned it. No one ever mentioned that one guy on Celebrity Jeopardy is from 40 years ago.
Yeah, how could you be Burt Reynolds? It didn't even matter. It didn't occur to anyone.
I met Burt Reynolds, though, which was an amazing...
Was he pissed? Because he doesn't have a big sense of humor, does he?
No, he was real nice to me, and he told me really funny stories. He told me he was in Deliverance, which I loved. He said, I used to do my own gags. Gags, I guess, are like stunts. He was a stunt man.
Yeah.
And so he said, they had this gag where I went over a waterfall. So he says, I'll do the fall. We don't need a stunt man. Frankenheimer says, no, we need a stunt man. He goes, nah, we don't want that,
Yeah.
Frankenheimer says, okay, well, we'll just use a dummy. We'll just throw a dummy over. And he goes, no. So Frankenheimer's idea was just to throw a dummy over. And Burt Reynolds said, no, absolutely, I'm going to do it myself. So Burt Reynolds says he does it. He said his shoulder immediately hit a rock, then his head hit another rock.
Oh, God.
And then he said, the next thing you remember, he's way downstream. All his clothes had been torn off him. And he looked up and he was just like in shock, right? The next thing he remembers, he's waking up in a hospital. John Frankenheimer is at his bedside. And he goes, then I said to John, how'd it look, on the daily? And John Frankenheimer said it looked like a dummy falling off a bottle.
You are the shining light on Saturday Night Live. The best part of Saturday Night Live is when you do the news.
Right.
So why did they fire you? How did they fire you? How did they tell you they're firing you? Tell me everything.
Well, it was like over the holidays. It was...
what holiday was that?
The Christmas.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. All right, just be clear.
Over the Christmas holidays,
Yeah.
I started hearing stuff about, hey, it doesn't look good, and things. They want to make changes, and I didn't know what they were talking about.
Who was telling you this?
Just different people at Saturday Night Live,
You had heard rumors that there were going to be changes. It doesn't look good.
And so then I was hanging out and stuff, and then the guys go, hey, man, you got to call this dude Don Ohlmeyer, the president of the network.
Don Ohlmeyer is the president of NBC.
Right.
And they're telling you you've got to call Don Ohlmeyer.
Right.
So when you called Don Ohlmeyer, what did he say?
He said he didn't want me to do update.
Why?
Because he doesn't think I was funny.
He said that to your face?
Yeah.
I don't think you're funny.
On the phone he did this?
He said to me that update is like dragging down the show, and that...
Really?
Yeah.
Gee, I must not know anything.
Well, baby,
and then what did you do? Did you yell at him? Did you say anything to him, or did you just hang up?
No, I just said, listen, if I'm unfunny, then he said, I want you to be better. And I go, well, I can't, because if I'm not funny...
How can I make myself funny?
An unfunny guy can't be funny.
Who will be the news guy now on Saturday Night Live?
I think maybe it's Colin.
That's what it says in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And it says you agreed to be replaced.
Well, that sure as hell ain't true.
That's not true.
No.
You love doing the weekend update. And be serious.
Yeah, that's the thing I like doing the best. That's the only thing I like doing.
I know. I love you doing
It's
it.
fun.
And you're accepting this?
What do you mean?
And are you now with Saturday Night Live in any other capacity, or have you quit?
No, I got to keep doing sketches.
Is that right?
And you don't want to do sketches?
Sometimes they write in sketches, and this is what they didn't do when I was on Update, because I had Update.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you got to be like, you got to be like the scientist that discovered Monkey Boy or something.
I know. Yeah, you're suddenly you're the scientist who discovered
Monkey Boy.
Yeah, you're being a straight man to Monkey Boy.
Right.
I'm with you on this.
Don Ohlmeyer is a good man, though. I mean,
Boo, man, don't kiss the corporate ass that just fired you.
No, he just seems like he stuck by his OJ. He stuck by his friend.
There you go. Yeah, Don Ohlmeyer's the guy who stuck by OJ. This is a really good way of saying he's a good guy.
No, he is a good
You
guy.
are an amazingly calculated man. Oh, man.
This guy Milos Forman.
Yeah, he's a big director.
So he saw me on Saturday Night Live, so he got the idea I was smart.
I always thought that.
Everybody
always thought that.
Because I'm reading the news and shit like that. So he's come to we go out, we'll eat at Nobu and some shit, right? And so I go with him. So it's me, him, and two guys from two foreigners.
Right.
And so these guys know everything, you know? And so they're like, what about the situation in the Balkans or something like that?
Yeah, you're the newsman.
And I just kind of play along, like by repeating what they'd said 3 sentences ago.
Right, yeah.
And so anyways, he goes, I put you in the movie, man. I need a guy to... And he was going to give me a big part.
Right.
So I was like, no, don't do that. Like, I can't act. And he's like, don't worry about it. I go, seriously, Milos, I don't want you to give me a big part. So he's like, what do you want? I go, just give me a small part. That'd be cool. So he made me a reporter, right, in this People versus Larry Flint.
Right,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I played one of the people.
Right.
So
Originally, I think it sounds like you were about to be Larry Flint. Right.
Oh my God.
I am Larry Flint.
So we go to we do the movie, right? And I'm a reporter, you know. So he goes, you drive up and get out of the car and run in. I go, well, I can't drive. He goes, oh. So he goes, okay, a cab will drive you. So it doesn't make sense. Like a reporter's in a cab. So we do the scene. It's me and Larry Flint, you know. Me and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
So then, anyways, Woody Harrelson's really cool. And fucking actors, man. When they're really good, it's like something different.
Right.
You know? Because I'm just waiting for the other fucker to stop talking and hope to God I remember
You're
my
not even
line.
paying attention.
No, I'm just hoping to remember my words. So anyways, fucking what's his name? Woody Harrelson asked me if I want a beer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you want a beer? I go, no, it's cool. I don't drink, you know. He goes, you don't want a beer? I go, no, I don't drink, but thanks, man. And then I go, you drink? Like, I thought you just smoke weed and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, Milos Forman goes, "Cut! What the fuck is going on?" Like we were in the movie.
You didn't know.
No.
You thought he's talking to you.
Because he was looking at me and talking like a regular person.
Oy vey.
There was nothing fake about it.
You went to do some college show.
Yeah.
And you go out there, and they say you're so drunk you can't get through the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Is that true?
No, that's not true.
I believe that.
It certainly doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't drink very much.
You don't drink at all?
No, hardly ever.
So what happened?
Well, a lot of times people like on stage will think that I'm drunk. Like I often get that.
Right.
People go, "Hey man, you're wasted."
You're like Cheech and Chong. They weren't really high. They just acted like they were high.
I think one of them was.
Which one?
Everybody in the college where I went, everybody was drunk. Like they were all drinking beer in a beer tent since noon.
What were you talking about that night?
I was talking about them being drunk.
He said, "Hey, you guys are all drunks."
And you know how sometimes like you say to a drunk guy that he's drunk and he gets mad,
belligerent,
and then it's no, you're drunk.
Yeah.
So it was like that. They hated me, and then
they started throwing stuff at you.
Yeah, and then I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to not get paid.
Right. So you stayed on the full hour.
Well, I stayed on until they finally came up and said, "No, you can go." But
Really? It was that
funny
painful.
because everyone's just screaming at you the entire time. And then like the girl from the college would call me over, and I go, "What? What do you want?" And she'd go, "Do those jokes like you do on Letterman." You know?
Yeah.
What are you
Oh, you have a
talking about?
college girl telling you what to do.
These people are just screaming like obscenities. You can't go.
Were they
like,
throwing things at you?
They were throwing things, so you can't do an act. You can't go like, "Does anyone have an answering machine?"
Do you ever do a show where it's successful, or is it always you?
I don't know.
It always ends up
Sometimes
in.
it goes really good.
Really?
It's kind of funny when like they hate you because all you're trying to do is make them laugh.
It's
right?
funny, yeah.
And this one guy, when he's walking out, he said, "I am going to kill you." Why would a guy be so mad? The security guy goes, "Hey, I think he's going to tell me like something." He's the security guy, and he goes, "Why don't you try to be funny?" He's like the security guy.
Yeah, well, it's not so easy.
In Florida, where I just was, they have people that I don't know what the fuck they do, but everybody got money. So a guy picks me up. He's the limo driver, and he's like, fucking guy goes, I can take you any place, man, anything you want. I go, what? He goes, anything you want. He goes, I got my wife. I go, your wife? Like, I thought he was talking about like drugs or something. He starts with his wife.
He could take you to his wife.
He's got his wife.
Says I can get anything I want, and then he goes, my wife.
Don't you want his wife?
Was he offering you his wife?
I don't fucking know. But it wasn't. It was all weekend long. I just meet 4 or 5 guys, and they go, hey, so this is the wife, and this is the other wife, and how about the 8 of us?
Oh, yeah?
Well, they wouldn't say it right out, but you kind of go, oh, what are you talking about?
They want to swing.
You don't really know what the fuck's going on because they don't come right out and say they want to fuck you.
Things were going really well in the fantasy. You, Nancy, and Shirley, and suddenly Earl walks in.
Yeah, what the fuck? You never told me. And then they're like, well, if we brought it up, we thought you'd say no. Of course I'd fucking say no.
You live in a hot climate. There's not a whole lot to do. You rely on other people, and it becomes like an orgy state.
Nobody told me about a guy coming out of a closet whacking off with his half-hard cock.
Earl was an afterthought.
I'm not a fancy guy. Fred, you know that.
Really? I always thought of you as a fancy
My
guy.
thing is, like, for a sexual encounter or something, I like to lie on top of a lady. I don't need a lot of fucking shit going on.
One girl to do it.
I like it.
Hey, Norm, are you married or not? Would you clear that up?
What?
Are you married?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't like people to know that because it's bad for your image.
No, I don't want,
What
I've
image?
had, like, stalkers and stuff like that.
Oh, you have had stalkers?
I would be afraid of somebody who would stalk Norm.
I had this one guy, right?
That's a scary part.
In New York, he was all stalking me, and it was my own fault because I was like, I met him on the street.
Yeah.
And I
And
was
you
real
hung out with him?
Yeah, kind of.
What?
Like an idiot.
You hung out with the guy?
A little bit.
And then what happened?
Well, he was just this dude. I was walking down, and I was like, I was coughing. I was coughing on the
Right.
street. And then, like, 5 blocks later, he's right beside me with a glass of water.
Right.
He goes, hey, man, I got you some water.
Was it in a bottle or was it an open
an open
thing?
thing. I don't
And you
even
drank
know.
it?
I know. I didn't know what it was.
Really? What happened?
Well, he was always phoning me. I gave my phone number.
Why'd
at
you
work.
give him your phone number?
Just my work phone number.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so.
So, anyways, 6 months passed. I'm in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking down the street, and that dude is there.
Oh, my God.
So we're standing there, and then in L.A., like, there's no pedestrians, so you're all alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's no protection.
Yeah. So I'm just standing with this guy.
Did he have water with him?
He goes, hey, I just want you to know I'd do anything for you. Yeah. And then we were standing in front. There's this restaurant in L.A. called Norm's restaurant. So I'm talking to this guy, and he goes, look behind you. And I look, and there's this big sign, Norm's.
Yeah.
And so I go, yeah? He goes, Norms, right? Like he thought.
There's a message. Yeah.
So I said, no, I just live here. I'm trying to tell him it's like a coincidence.
Right.
Oh, my God. Actually, I went to the hospital because I go to the hospital a lot. But
what are you doing there, man?
Well, I just kind of like I worry about stuff.
Right.
But what happened was Dennis Rodman was on the show. You know that guy?
Yeah, sure.
So we thought it'd be funny if he headbutted me. You know?
Right.
So he tells me, if I go, don't really headbutt me, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
You're like a professional athlete. You're like one of the strongest guys, and I'm like one of the weakest guys. So don't do that. So he says, no, I won't. I know what I'm doing. I'll just put my thumbs up, and like when I touch my thumbs, you push back. And then when he does it, he headbutts me like really hard.
Wow.
And I like blanked out for a
Yeah, I
second.
didn't see any thumbs.
No, he cracked me.
Did you blank out?
Yeah, I blanked out for like 10 seconds.
Oh, because I don't get that whole headbutt thing, man. That hurts.
So I went to the I had a headache for like 2 days.
You're kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Are you
I
like a
was
hypochondriac like me? Like, do you
Yeah,
think
I
like, if
worry a
anything
lot
happened?
about it.
Yeah, right.
So I go to the hospital. I thought I was going to die and stuff. And I go, oh, my head. And so then, you get to the hospital late at night. It's all like crack addicts and the gunshot
Yeah, you got to wait a
wounds.
long time with just a headache.
Yeah, excuse me, I got headbutted. Yeah, get in line.
They didn't believe me. They thought I was nuts. They think everybody's on drugs.
Yeah, right. They thought you were hallucinating.
Yeah, I said Dennis Rodman headbutted me. Go,
No
yeah.
kidding.
And I go, no, I'm on the TV. I said,
Right, they don't care.
They don't.
Oh, yeah, don't you do Ed Sullivan? Yeah. You don't like a guy who does shticky joke after joke after joke.
There's very few that I like, but I love Rodney Dangerfield as my favorite. I met Rodney, man, when I was I made the worst mistake ever, which I was in the fucking hotel, and I loved Rodney and shit, and I was coming down in the casino. I was coming down the fucking elevator, and Rodney was in the elevator. I'm like, oh my God, it's Rodney. I gotta say something to him. So anyways, I'd worked on some stupid fucking thing with this director who said he worked with Rodney.
Yeah.
So I used that as a thing, right? So I go, hey, Rodney. I go, we have a common friend. He goes, who's that? I go, Paul Johnson. He goes, that cocksucker. He goes, that fucker's no friend. And there's a full elevator. That fucker's no friend of mine. You tell him he can suck my dick. I'm like, oh, I'm not not his friend. I'm not his friend. I met him. I was on Saturday Night Live because he came when I did Update. So we have to do dress first at 8:30 and then at 11:30 the show, you know?
Right.
He goes, listen, man. He goes, what the fuck, man? Why am I doing it at 8:30? You know, I know my fucking jokes. I'll just come back at 11:30. I go, I don't know how it works, Rodney. You got to do it. He goes, God damn. He goes, let me tell you something, kid. This was his advice to me.
Kid.
He goes, this fucking TV shit, you know? He goes, this waiting around all the fucking time. It's a bunch of all shit, you know? It's shit. He goes, it's the same with fucking movies, you know? You're in the movie, and then you're in the fucking trailer all the time. That's all you're doing is fucking jerking off in the trailer, you know? He goes, it's all shit, kid. He goes, remember this and remember it forever. Stand up, man. That's all there is. Stand up.
And he meant it.
Then there's a fucking 5-minute pause. He's looking me right in the eyes. He goes, stand up shit.
He forgot. It's all shit. Farley was out of his mind even off camera, right?
Yeah, he was.
You joined Saturday Night Live. They send you to the Catskills to have some sort of bonding weekend for the new cast.
Yes, sir.
And Farley comes running in naked into your room.
Yes.
Farley comes and he had a tomato shoved up his ass.
He said, would you like to see my impression of a salad? And he poured salad dressing all over his head and started shoving baby tomatoes up his ass.
Wow. And did you think this guy is the greatest, or did you think, what the fuck am I dealing with?
I thought it was
here?
the funniest thing I ever saw. And then he took me and he said, I have to tell you a secret.
Yeah.
You know, and I was so I was saying, oh my God, the great Farley has to tell me a secret, you know, something about Saturday Night Live that I should know. And it was a big, big resort. And he finally found a room, you know, that was, and he, on purpose, looking back on now, he took all this time to finally find a room, and he locked the door, and he brought me in the corner, and he said, this goes nowhere.
Okay.
You know, this is between you and I. Pat is a woman.
You see, I'm interested in that.
You know, I laughed so hard that he would do this for a stranger, you know, and that's why I love Farley so much, and he's so much different than all the rest of us, is that he would go down the street and just perform for everybody. And I'm telling you, everybody loved Chris Farley. The young, the old, the smart.
That's what they say.
The stupid, the people that liked him, the people that hated him.
Yeah.
You know, we had a guy come in and do a bad review on the show about how horrible it was and how horrible Farley was, and, you know, he laughed everything Farley said. Jack Warden, when he first came in to the Dirty Work, I was sitting there with the producer and Saget or whatever.
Right.
He came in and he was like, hey, how you guys doing? You know, he goes, hey, listen, I'm excited to meet this Norm Macdonald kid. And I was sitting there. It was very embarrassing.
Right.
He goes, I'm very excited to meet this kid. I'm a big fan of his, you know. When's he going to? So it was really humiliating, you know. I had to say who I was, you know. He goes, when's he going to come around? When am I going to meet him? I got you, you fucker. I got you, you motherfucker. Hey.
See what I'm doing?
Yeah, he got me in the head.
Motherfucker.
When I worked with him on the Norm show, but he'd always forget his lines, and it was driving him crazy, you know.
Right.
And the director, these fucking television directors, they go over to him and they go, Jack, you're doing fine. He goes, don't bullshit me, dude. Oh, you fucking bullshit me. But, and then I'd have to remember everything just in case he remembered the one scene, you know.
Yeah,
and,
there's pressure on you. Yeah,
so
imagine you don't remember.
I don't remember anything anyway, so
Right.
I'd have to make sure I remembered. So I remember the scene was we're watching a hockey game, you know, and Jack Warden's supposed to go, he's playing an old tough guy, you know, and he goes, so his first line is, no, hockey is not the same as it used to be. You know, it's the helmets, you know. When I was a kid, they were tough, you know. So that was his opening line, you know. So we start the scene, he looks at me, he just blank in his eyes. I know he doesn't remember anything. But he's a good enough actor, he thinks he can fake it, you know.
Right.
So he looks at me, he goes, just nothing. Then he goes, Nami. Nami, Nami, Nami. And then he's looking down, he's trying to press it. He goes, Nami, I tell you, Nami. Now it's hockey, Nami. Hockey. He goes, it's different nowadays, Nami. It's all different with the hockey. Nami, it's different. The helmets, Nami, the helmets, you know.
It was a disaster.
5 minutes later.
Yeah.
I read on the computer that Gilbert said something back at Affleck or something.
Well, I don't, Gilbert is not the type to apologize for anything he says, but I think it cost him a lot of money. The Affleck gig was easy. Once a year he goes in, acts like a duck, and he makes a ton of dough.
And he doesn't even have to say anything but Affleck.
Hey, you're right. Affleck. So
I did an audition for it.
Did you really?
Did you?
It seems like everyone is being auditioned
Now,
for the
what
Affleck
did you
doc.
do? Did you try to sound like Gilbert, or did you try to change
No,
the
they
duck?
said I've only been on like 5 auditions in my life, and everyone's been a fucking nightmare.
You don't strike me as an auditioning kind of guy.
I'm the worst fucking ever. So I go in, and then the woman goes, I just thought I'd have to say Affleck once.
Right, that's easy.
So she goes, listen, I want you to create a story. Like, that's what I want you to do. Like, you just think of the duck, be quizzical and funny, and then sarcastic, and then serious, and then sexy. And she goes, just create a story. Have fun. They all say, fucking have fun with it.
No, this is my work. There's no fun here.
So then, like, 3 seconds in, I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I ain't gonna be the fucking
hired.
duck. So she left, and then there's just me and a guy with a hat. So I said, listen, man, I'll just say Affleck and get the fuck out of here. Because, I only got so many fucking moments in my life.
Right. You got a life to live.
Yeah, so it's me, a guy with a hat. He's telling me how to say Affleck. I'm saying Affleck. I'm going, I don't have that many years left.
It dawned on you that this is actual.
This is time.
Like if a doctor told you had 3 weeks to live, you'd say, God, I'm spending too much time here.
Yeah, exactly.
It was such a genuine moment when you were the last stand-up comic to perform on Dave's show. Sometimes with the way you are, the way you carry yourself, I don't see you as an overly emotional person. And I was really moved, honestly, when you were the last comic to perform on Letterman. You went out and did a set, and then you turned to Dave and you said a couple of heartfelt things, and you were moved to tears. And I was really moved by that because I didn't know you felt that way about Letterman, and you were so complimentary to him, and you kind of let down the comedy thing, which I thought was so strong because when you're doing stand-up,
it's false by nature.
Yes. And then all of a sudden you kind of opened up as to who you were for real.
Yeah.
And you showed Letterman how much you cared about him.
I'd just like to say, I know that Mr. Letterman is not for the mawkish, and he has no truck for the sentimental, but if something is true, it is not sentimental, and I say in truth, I love you. Oh, my God.
And it was really genuinely moving. And I think it's because you feel like, wow.
Well, also it was accidental. I didn't go out there with that plan.
Was that, no, but you wanted to say something to him.
I wanted to say something. I didn't know quite. It wasn't that.
Right.
It was some stupid thing I'd written, that sounded just written and fake. And then when I started to say it, I was like, oh, this is going to sound, I'll just talk,
Did Letterman say anything to you afterwards, after the show was over, or there was no discussion of it?
He whispered in my ear something that
you want to keep private?
Should keep private. As much as Saturday Night Live holds memories for me, and David Letterman, although I have no backstage experience with him at all, you know, just things he's talked to me about in between commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always felt so close to it. I really felt like that they talk about father figures, that he was my father figure. Hey, you want to hear a joke from my act?
Yes.
It's about that whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I heard that.
So actually, it doesn't really stay. Like you can't. It's not like you can kill a person and then leave Vegas and everything's cool. You know what I mean? So what I did was I looked at that phrase. What it actually means is basically you can go to Vegas, fuck a prostitute, and then she will not tell your wife.
Right. That's exactly
what they're saying.
You're saying
not like those gossipy small town whores.
You're saying
that's where you come from. I'm saying back at home, they're blabbermouths.
You're saying, in other words,
they're sitting in the beauty parlor going, "Oh, you're married to Hank Johnson? I fucking shit on his face last night."
All right, listen, we're having too much fun with Norm.
Yeah, we can talk to him all day.
Yeah, I could go with you all day. You're easy.
What?
You get some stiffs on here sometimes. They don't have anything to say.
Norm gives strange answers. That's good.
The great Norm Macdonald, everyone. The great Norm Macdonald. The great Norm Macdonald. Norm, you are a genius.